hello there. And I should say welcome back. I guess it's a welcome back for me, but not for you all because it's the Ryan Ripken Show. We're live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And I do apologize, a little bit busier early in Philly as we were getting content, taking it all in. And don't worry, we're going to recap that today. Some behind the scenes, what we saw, the entire experience. The Derby was great. The All-Star game, while you wish to see a little bit maybe more offense or maybe a little bit less strikeouts, depending on how you look at it, the actual game itself and the entertainment during it, a lot of pieces to talk about with that. We have a cool moment as well from the All-Star game that involves one of the hometown Phillies players. And then as we move on to the show, well, we do got to cover what else is going on. And even though it's dormant throughout the sports world today, well, we got to recap the draft, and later on to help us recap the MLB draft, Keith Law is going to join us, and he's got some thoughts on the Orioles and a couple of his favorite players throughout the draft and some things that we should take note of. Oh, and then, by the way, football season is just right around the corner. And I mean literally right around the corner. End of July, and whammy, Zach, training camp is here. And then soon enough, it's going to be September. But come September, still some people that have a lot of doubts for Lamar Jackson. I hate even being a broken record with this, but a media personality, a very well-known media personality, thinks there's one quarterback in the NFL, hasn't even been in the league for 2 years, that he would take over Lamar Jackson. He'll send him, and we'll get to that and a whole lot more. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And we're also on the socials at Ryan Ripken Show on YouTube or on Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and at Ryan Ripken Media on YouTube. That was a lot here. Take a deep breath, kid. I'm talking about myself, but Bali, how we doing?
What's up? How's it going? Yeah, no. Fun times. Fun times at All-Star break. AL doing what the AL does best recently, and that's kick ass. First shutout since what, 2013? Something. Christopher Sanchez put on a show for Rocco. What can I say? It was I'm sure he loved every second of that. I'm sure that was his favorite moment.
It might have been. It might have been. Should we see who's behind door number 2?
Let's see. Oh, hey, Rocco.
Hey, Rock, did you go to the All-Star game?
Yeah, I did. You guys should get rid of Rocco, though. He doesn't bring much to the table.
Not a thing.
I don't know where the recommendation came in from, but I strongly
I would give that recommendation like a 10 out of 10 on Yelp, though. I think it's a pretty solid one. So, yeah, figure it out. Is what it is. It was great, though. Fun times in Philly. Yeah. Look at it. I forgot you got the same exact hat that I did. I got it first. So
I got the other hat, but I wore this one today too. But
I keep forgetting
because we're
my screen's mirrored, so I got to figure that out. But yeah,
it looks correct for us.
Yeah, no, it's correct.
Is it better now?
No, it's been correct.
It's You're correct.
Good. Oh,
we can read MLB All-Star game. It looks very much like it should.
Oh, maybe it's just me seeing the mirrored screen. I had that issue the other day, remember?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you keep bringing up the mirrored screen, but I think it's only mirrored for you. So you'll be like, oh, guys, I got to figure this out. And everyone else is just looking at you normally.
Exactly.
You got a lot of issues.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Anyway.
You got a lot. It's okay. You're a good kid. We'll get to our moments because there were a lot of moments good, goofy. I wouldn't say there was anything bad. It was an awesome time. And we'll explain all of that in just a moment. But, Zach, you know how we do this here. We appreciate you.
And we appreciate CQ.
And our friends over at CQ want to remind you that it's running out of time. Why, you might ask? Well, the summer's running out. Well, there's also a chance for no first payment for 90 days on a new or used car and any auto loan that CQ can provide for you. That's right. Countdown is on. So here's how it works. Do not miss out on this opportunity. If you are dealing with a car issue, an auto loan, go to CQ. You have 90 days. And actually, I lied. Zach, it's not 90 days. You got 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
July 31st, end of the month. you can get a CQ auto loan, new or used, no first payment. Got 2 weeks left to do it. It excludes refinancing. That's just the kicker here. But if you have questions, go to cqmd.org/auto to learn more. And CQ, proud sponsor of the Ryan Ripken Show. I'll tell you what, I might have to be in that situation here moving forward because my car is having some issues. Zach, my boys at AutoStream, I gave them a lot of work to get some things done, and I mean a lot. But we are getting the hoe back this today. The top coming back.
What?
Huh? Tahoe?
The Tahoe.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Never heard of a Tahoe before?
No, just the way you phrased it, I just wasn't sure if you wanted to tap the helmet on that at all.
Tahoe?
Yeah. I don't think he said Tahoe.
That's what I heard.
I did.
What is he trying to do? Honestly, well, that's a non-reviewable call.
It's a very reviewable call.
Waited too long.
You're going to go back to the tape.
Unfortunately, waited too long to tap the helmet.
I might have waited
Umpire's
a second.
discretion.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a good segue into that was one of the questions that we asked quite a few of the guys at All-Star Weekend. So maybe a little bit of a monologue, a little bit of a moment to explain from my perspective, Rocco's perspective, and all of this, because we do understand with the Home Run Derby itself, we'll get to that in a little bit. There's watching it on Netflix then, if you did, and then watching the game on the broadcast. But for us, we had a unique opportunity, and we hope that this is one of many where we're going to be there, boots on the ground, to have a lot of fun. And I'll be honest, Zach, I didn't know what the hell we were doing at first. You're there, you're walking around, and then whammy, hey, here's all these players you could possibly talk to. But Rock, there was hundreds of media members trying to swarm in where the players were in left field. What was that area behind left field?
It was Ashburn Alley is where they had the media availability, and we were being herded to and from out of left field into left field, kind of like cattle. Security was pushing everyone out. So it was the NL All-Stars first. They came in, they did their media availability. You had to wait in a long line to get in. Once you funneled in and finally got there, like it was absolute chaos. So we were just trying to find guys that had, fewer media members at their tables because we had a better opportunity to get them. Whereas like a guy like Mike Trout on the AL side, it was just, you had no chance of getting there unless you spent the whole time there or had like 7 people with you. So after the NL wrapped up, they brought you back out the center. You sat there for or left, and you sat there for, 15 more minutes just baking. And it was nice because there were cooling fans there, which was a nice.
Oh, we have a photo of Rocco. Zach, I'll be honest, I didn't think Rocco was going to make it.
I didn't think I was going to make it either.
Gonna get lost in the sauce?
Dude, no, it was we were talking to a player or we're waiting to, and I turn around and Rocco was in the mode of just silent. And you could tell he was having some issues. He was malfunctioning a hair, some would say.
It's like that Olaf meme.
Yeah, I had a few moments this weekend where I'm not proud of them, but, we move on.
So he goes, are you all right? He goes, yep, I'm good. And then I go, okay. And I look back and I'm like, you sure you're all right? And then he goes, yep, I'm fine. And then when we got herded out before the AL players came in, Zach, Rock goes, I'll be right back. And then goes over to the fans, just the mist, the spritz. And he's over there, just full head in.
It was hot.
It was hot, but you know what? We got to be ready. We got to train better for this, Zach. It's the heat. No one cares. Play better, right?
What was it? It's like Rock's like Jacob Mizrowski. His favorite home ballpark is wherever they have a roof. He likes the shade. As what's Rocco's favorite ballpark? Any of them that have a roof. If you got AC,
listen,
you run
give
up.
Me air conditioning,
you
walking through
run
the
up
press
on
box.
Rocco's lifts.
Yeah, it's we got home I think on that Monday night after the Derby, and I didn't even shower. Not proud to say that, but I could feel the humidity on me and let the fan just hit me in bed. And yeah, definitely needed that, but it is what it is.
Rocco survived, and we had some great content. So where do we want to start with this? Do we want to start with maybe some other of the specific clips of just being around there, or do we want to just jump right into what we have with some of the static photos alone? Maybe we start with the I got it right here. Maybe we start with Rock. We got a chance to catch up with Don Mattingly initially, and then we got an answer about a story. And actually, Don, we were set to talk to for a while. And again, just the timing, the people, and how things work. Well, Don wanted me to put one on record of one of his favorite Cal Ripken stories. So we'll give you a little bit more context, or I guess I'll do that now. Don Mattingly's at first base. My dad's taking his lead. There's a young Andy Pettit is what Don thinks. And my dad wanted an honest answer from Don. Now, let's just say my dad didn't forget the answer that Don gave him. So let's play that clip for you. Timeout. All right, real quick. What do you want on tape for that? What do you remember?
What I do remember, it wasn't an all-star game. I think it was maybe Andy Pettit and Cal was on first. Yeah. And he's like, what kind of moves this guy got? I'm like, it's all right. And then we picked him off. And then he owed me one the rest of my career. He was trying to get me after that. Yeah. That's what I remember, Cal.
Yeah. He's a pain in the butt. Well, appreciate it. Yeah, my dad was pissed about that because he asked Don wholeheartedly, like, hey, what do you got on this guy? Like, well, how's his move? And there's a fair competition. If I'm Don, I don't know if I would say it's a good move. But Don, in his case, he's such a good guy. He really had no idea because Andy, he hadn't spent much time around Andy. So Andy has a phenomenal move to first base. Whammy, Cal gets out, and you know who's pissed off the rest of the way? Calvin. But they've made up. They've been friends. I think they're good. And talk about a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. I know that keeps getting brought up. Donnie Baseball is such a legend, such a great guy, and doing such a great job with the Phillies this year. You know, one thing, Rock, we saw that I know people want to know with him. He even said there multiple times, he's like, I like the thought of managing, but stop asking me if I want to manage next year. Yeah. Like he said that very politely, but that was how the conversation was ending when we were before we had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job with the Phils. I would love to potentially see him just stay on as the permanent manager for the foreseeable future. I think that's what he kind of wants. And it seemed like he might have been iffy about that to start, but the Phils are playing really good baseball right now. I believe they're still in second in the NL East behind the Braves. So it's like when you have that turnaround and you're able to lead a team that's so talented, like it's not like he's leading a bunch of nobodies right now. Like he's leading superstars in a team that's super talented. And I saw some of the national media. I believe it was a piece on Fox or ESPN. One of the national writers or insiders saying that they think the Phillies are the team that could really give the Dodgers a run for their money and come out of the NL and represent the NL in the World Series. And I don't disagree. The Phillies had a shot at the Dodgers last year. They shot themselves in the foot. With this roster, how talented they are, and they didn't really lose much. I think they really have a shot to do that. And that's not homer talk. That's real baseball talk, watching them, and seeing the star power they have. But they're big names. They absolutely have to show up in those situations. Plain and simple, they didn't last year. So I know that's eating them alive probably this season during the first half and something that they're going to use as motivation going forward. But Don Mattingly has a great group of guys that he's managing right now. So hopefully he stays on really for the foreseeable future past this season.
We want to really check the record here. Phillies were 10-16 in April. Rob Thompson was fired. The Phillies 18-10 in May, 18-9 in June, and currently are 6-5 in July, are 11 games over 500. But Donnie Baseball, man, he's awesome. Great people, great family. And Philly was buzzing, man. I mean, there's a lot to like that was going on there. I think another part that I wanted to touch on before maybe some of our goofier moments, you know, Philly did a great job with everything. They loved Kyle Schwarber, rightfully so. I think we're hoping to see a Schwar bomb in the All-Star game. He put on a clinic during the Derby, but out of all that, Zach, you just shared with us that one of the coolest moments actually took place for the red carpet yesterday with Schwarber.
Yeah, so for Kyle Schwarber, I mean, obviously at home in Philly, it's kind of not was seen as his event, especially for the home run derby, but he was the odds-on favorite to win it. He was the hometown hero, all of that, and in a lot of ways, it felt like this was a massive party for him. Harper, Mike Trout coming physically home to the Philly area. It was kind of their weekend, the Justin Verlanders. And so on the red carpet yesterday, it kind of went viral as well. Kyle Schwarber, as you see there, took a photo with his family, and his son caught the attention of everyone as he hit the Spider-Man pose in the middle of the red carpet. Now, for a lot of people, it's okay. He hits a Spider-Man pose. Like that's, kids being kids, all of that. But it meant something more to Kyle Schwarber. And it's one of these moments where you really start to see the human side of it. It's a lot more than just a game. This all-star weekend, you get celebrated as a player. You get celebrated for all the things you've accomplished on the field. But you get to bring the ones that don't always get the glory, don't always get everything with you, with your family. So Kyle Schwarber was kind of asked about, his time in the all-star game and just kind of what it meant for his family to be here. And he actually brought up that Spider-Man pose. So let's take a listen and we'll react to it on the other side.
We hear a lot of guys talk about the families and what they get to do here, red carpet, all that kind of stuff. When you're all said and done, you look back at this, your kids are a little on the younger side. How much will all that mean, the experiences you got with them and what they're going to take away from it?
Yeah, can't say enough about it. Heck, I think my kid had a Spider-Man pose in one of the pictures today, so, that was a really cool thing to witness as a dad, right? Like, your kid's in a pretty public format and he feels, he's got the courage to go out there and do that. So that was like pretty cool proud dad moment right there to see him be him. But, it'll be awesome down the road whenever this is all said and done and they're older and you can sit back and show them pictures, whatever it is, and just really reminisce on a lot of really unbelievable cool experiences.
Just love that answer from Schwarber there. Because, as, in today's day and age, that's kind of, if you're the son of Kyle Schwarber, at that age, that's all it's like the public eye and everything. It's like everyone's always eyes are on you, who your dad is, stuff like that. So for him to feel that comfortability, I love how Schwarber put it, like that's his proud dad moment of the weekend. Is like, it wasn't coming in second place in the home run derby. It wasn't all the Philly fans, everything that went into that. It was the simple moment of his kid feeling confident enough, feeling comfortable enough in his own skin to be like, I'm going to hit the Spider-Man pose in the middle of this red carpet. Who cares? And that's a really cool moment to see the human side and the human element of all these guys. It's a lot more than just a game.
I think it sounds like I might be able to relate to that. You have a father that was involved, except someone did ask me earlier today, like, hey, any relation? No. Because honestly, we didn't, he was in Philly. I didn't see him rock. Did you? No relation to me.
No, it was.
But
That was.
But in all seriousness, also we have to also explain one photo that we put out where Calvin's fine, by the way. All is good.
Listen, I'm so sorry. That's all I have to say.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But in all seriousness, I can really relate to the situation for the kids in this circumstance, because that's all that's all you grew up with, but you're not viewing the situation as at least unnatural. And I think that's the really awesome part. And that's what Kyle's talking about of, there's all this attention and you're going out there being yourself. And that is also the beauty of being a younger kid, of just enjoying what life's supposed to be. And, seeing that from Schwarber brought back some memories. And actually one of my favorite moments of the weekend was being able to talk to John Schneider, manager of the Blue Jays, because when I was doing the game in Toronto and before the Orioles and Blue Jays played, I believe it was the finale on a Sunday afternoon, John Schneider was in the outfield with his two sons, and he was throwing to them, and he put them out there in center field, and John would watch his sons try to go big ball, dead center, up there at Rogers Center. It was so cool. And why it was even cooler to me, because I had that moment as a kid. And I told John that. I pulled him aside, told him who I was, and told him about that moment, because 25 years ago, I was doing the exact same thing with my dad that he was doing with his sons. And I was taken out to the Green Monster in Fenway and was trying to hit balls over. I still have that photo there. I have photos at the old Yankee Stadium of I think I'm safe at home plate. My dad thinks otherwise, but I didn't think about anything else besides, wow, that was a really great moment that I had with my dad. And so that's what I told John was, I love that you're creating those memories for your kids and they are enjoying that. And for Kyle, I love the fact that his son is comfortable being who he is and being a part of this, because that is their life. And that's not in any way, right? It's just the reality. And that's all they know. But also those players, they are the everyday. The majority are going to act the everyday. Schwarber, I saw a meme out there. It might have been with Jordan Walker in the Derby finale. It was like Walker's there, just a freaking specimen. Just looks like a full athlete. And there's Schwarber. You're like, who the hell let this guy on the field? Like, just a smaller guy, looks like he just want to throw down some beers and hang out, but he just hits tanks. So when you hear guys talk about this, these are foundational family moments that they get to have. And I'm glad that we got to witness that and hear that. So, Bali, thank you for sharing that again. That was really a cool moment. I'm glad that was one of our coolest moments we've had.
Shout out Schwarber's kid.
Rip, and that's like talking about the kids of the athletes and the managers. John Schneider's son Gunnar got to ask him the last question of the media day press conference, and he asked him what his favorite moment from the 2025 season was. And Schneider gave a great answer, but that was another great moment. And you're talking about, the kids being a part of the All-Star game, not just like the sons of the athletes or the managers, but one of the best moments while we're kind of on that topic from the All-Star game was that Sandlot moment, man, when the kids were riding the bikes out onto the field, meeting with the athletes, the one kid taking swings from Harper, the other kid going up to Alvarez, I believe, with a baseball. It was just a really cool moment. And like, I want kids growing up to be able to get back to that those Sandlot moments, the riding their bikes, the going out and hanging out with their friends, going to the park and staying there until, the lights turn off and then going home for dinner. Like, those moments were some of my favorite as a kid and some of a lot of my friends and family members' favorites as a kid. And like, I'm not saying all kids are iPad kids now, but when you see that and you see the screens, and I'm guilty of it all the time, I just want the younger generation to be able to get back and experience moments like that, because they're so special and they make you the human you are, later in life. So it's, I thought it was great for the game to do that. I thought it was great for the kids to be a part of that. And I just think it's great for humanity. So all the above what you guys are talking about, but that moment included was the, the cherry on top of All-Star Weekend.
So with All-Star Weekend, there was a lot of cool things. We'll get some photos. Was the Sandlot stopping the game? Did anyone see that coming? Bali, like I'll sit here. Like, that has to be one of the coolest All-Star moments we've had in a long time.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's all a few disgruntled people, like old men yelling at clouds saying, "Oh, we don't need a halftime in baseball." It's like, shut up and take it in. Like, it was fantastic. And if you don't like that, I don't know. That's crazy. What's the line? If you don't like that, you don't like playoff basketball, or what? What's the guy say?
You know,
Zach?
is Bali? I think it's the line. You don't like that. You don't
Yeah,
like
if you
that.
don't, yeah, if you don't like
like
that,
NBA
you don't like the
basketball.
All-Star game.
Maybe that
Yeah.
guy is right about with Rocco not bringing it.
Was that before the game, or was that which one did they do to in between innings? Was that the Sandlot moment, or when was
Sandlot was during the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. I was going to say that one was physically.
Before the game was they had the kid, there was a young kid that walked onto the field with the baseball. There were the paratroopers that came in with the flags and whatnot.
Yeah, one fell.
It was
Tough
what's
save.
that?
It was
One
a
fell, one
hard
did.
landing.
Yeah, it was, and
Zach,
I
can you
felt so.
imagine the pressure on you? Like you
Well, I
have
just
like a
felt
target
so-
you have to hit, and you're just like, all right, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, and then you just like coming in hot.
And then I felt so bad because like I don't know if they went in order of least to most skill, but like guy lands it. This guy is just like tumbling. He's now on top of the tarp and he's like getting all, and then the next guy literally hits a running landing and goes into it with the fist bump. And I was like, just two different landings. Yeah. I was like, this guy is trying to save like the most embarrassing moment of his life. And then it cuts to this guy having the smoothest landing I've ever seen in any of these.
So,
And then when they got like back behind the scenes, like off the field, they're like, "Nice job, Jim. Way to mess everything up, buddy." Like,
and he might have just been like, shit. But I also, when I watch these things, first off, I turned to Rock, Zach, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, are they trying to land right on the bullseye? Like, because they had the big target. And I know, like, it's just a landing spot for them, just an idea. But I'm like, okay, maybe that's where exactly they are, because they did have to repair the ground. The grounds crew came out and was repairing the ground for where the guys landed. So watching that, they were humming out there. I don't know if the cameras got that, but they're humming out there and they're fixing it like you're fixing
divot fixers,
on
like
the,
in
on
golf.
the, on the
Yeah.
golf course. So, but it was awesome. It was cool. I just thought to myself when I saw that happen, I'm like, oh my goodness, please. I've heard like the stories of coming in too hot and breaking your leg or something like that.
Yeah,
And that
Like,
can't
that's your worst nightmare right there. Getting stuck on the scoreboard when that happened last year in Blacksburg. Like, can you imagine if that happened? National broadcast, MLB All-Star game. We got to delay, guys, for 30 minutes to an hour because we got to get Jimmy over here stuck out of the scoreboard with his parachute. Like, that would be crazy. Can't even imagine.
And that's one of the things I can wholeheartedly say I will not do. And for anyone that does, I have mad respect, because no way in hell I'm landing that thing at all. But also, it feels like a lot can go wrong.
Yeah, you have to potato sack it if things start to go wrong. You have to just let your body hit the
go
ground.
I'm sorry.
You have to go completely limp.
I know what a sack of potatoes is, but what's potato sack in the
Just like when you throw a sack of potatoes, it's just gonna smash against the ground, like it's not gonna brace or anything. So that's what they say. Yeah, that's like what they're taught when they're jumping out of
potatoes.
Yeah, you gotta it's like potato sack it. That's what, because my friend jumps out of helicopters and stuff for the Navy, and he's like, sometimes his parachute just doesn't open and you just literally let your body go limp and you just smack the ground, and then you do one hand at a time. You have to feel everything to see if anything's broken, and then you just get up and continue. But literally they tell you, they're like, yeah, it sucks, but you got to go against all instinct of like tense up, and you just have to let your body go limp and hit the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Zach, I don't want to jump out of a plane with you ever, even though we're supposed to at like 100K.
Yeah.
But like now I'm getting kind of terrified, because the last thing I want to do is potato sack it. And the last thing I want to tell people is, hey, I just potato sacked it, guys.
If they're potatoes, if we are doing it out of a plane with professionals, that is a very big difference.
Listen, we're the
like,
potato sack in that situation. They're fine.
Yeah, can you imagine the last things that I say about Rocco? If something happened, well, Rocco went limp. He
tried to potato sack it.
He
Didn't
tried
work.
to potato sack, and then he tried to go limp, and Rocco, he successfully went limp. So it's
first for everything.
Yeah. Well, it was a cool show on that part. And I think Rock on the game itself, and to close out the Sandlot, I love that. Like it was nostalgic. It was beautiful. I love Trout and the kid as well talking about swinging. I love the different angles. I love the feeling because and Sandlot. If you watch the movie Zach Sandlot,
Oh yeah.
Nate, do I even ask you?
I've seen it.
One more time.
You have seen it.
I've seen the Sandlot.
Now we need. All right, we gotta.
Do you know what scene though we're referring to? Like
Rip, that's a head tap there. That's a head tap. We need to ask him a question that only a Sandlot ball knower would
Well, yeah,
know.
you just asked
Dude,
him.
I haven't seen a Sandlot in a long time.
It's an iconic moment. It's one of the most iconic moments on 4th of July. What do the Sandlot kids go out to do at night on the 4th of July?
I swear to God, I've seen the movie.
And
I've
like the
seen it
crazy thing is, I'm giving
just
you
not
a
the
layup.
just not the
I'm
most
giving
swear
you
to
a
God.
layup of what we're talking about.
Fireworks.
Continue.
No, dude, that's like that. Well, they yes, they do at some point. But that's too
Like,
easy.
what are
That's
they? What
too
are they
easy.
doing?
They're setting off fireworks.
Okay. Head tap.
Yeah.
We challenged it.
That's a
Ball
challenge.
was reversed.
Yeah, that's
Don't lose a challenge. They're playing baseball, Nate.
Oh my
under
God!
the
Yeah,
fireworks.
of course they're playing baseball.
Of course
yes,
they're-
they're playing baseball. I thought I didn't even think I had to say that.
you said they were setting off fireworks.
What?
You said they were
Didn't you just say that before? But they were playing baseball during it, right?
I just
Nate.
said that now.
Nate, what? I have a question. What illegal activity do they do before jumping on the roller coaster or the what is it? Not the tilt-a-whirl, like the ride that spins around, Rip. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
They're like on the swings. They're on the
amusement park
swings.
ride where you go around and you're being
Yeah,
flying.
Yeah.
they threw
Yeah.
up doing that. They were doing like
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Challenge unsuccessful on my part. I
No,
lose the challenge.
yours was
'cause
unsuccessful. Mine.
Nate, he
mine
restored
was.
my faith in humanity.
Oh man. Well, that was cool. Do we have some videos of the start of the game, Rock, or of the Citizens Bank Park, or was that the Derby?
I believe we do. We have Citizens Bank Park right here, and I'll pull it up. This was just like as they were getting things going, the ceremony was taking place, and like how packed the stadium was. So I'm gonna pull that up right now. And those were our seats. They look like they're far away because they were, but that's where the media auxiliary press box was. But sick view for everything. We got to see the flyover, got to see some fireworks go off. I had like a shit my pants moment. I don't know if like you did as well, Rip, but like when I was taking the video, the fireworks went off. Like I visibly like jumped out of my shoes.
Oh, I did too. They
and
scared me.
yeah, I'll have to find that video, but it was not fun for me. But it was awesome how they did
That
it.
was great, and you might as well just show the flyover again from the Derby night.
Oh, the flyover. All right, let me see.
That one actually fully got me.
That one was unbelievable. Well, it didn't really get you. It surprised you more than anything, which is
Yeah, so it
hilarious,
got
but-
me. It's surprising.
Yeah. Well, that's the slowed down version of it. If you just look at Rip's face in slow-mo as it goes, he's like a little kid watching like a plane fly over. Like it's just an unbelievable moment. So happy we were able to capture that. But
They really don't. And Balik, if you could switch back to me real quickly. Nate looks great. He looks handsome today.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're working on his movie skills. It's still not the greatest.
No,
but we're getting there.
that's a win. He's up. Nate's up one right now.
I did.
so that's big.
I saw the Sandlot, and I just told you something that happened in the movie.
He did. He told us two things.
I know. So we're getting there. We will get better. We will be better. But that there was a lot of good moments from it, and I mean, heck, there was a lot of who's moments as well. One of the ones where we're talking about shitting your pants. Rocco did indeed almost shit his pants. When we got a chance to go down on the field, and so for the press, you're down on the field before the game, and you can be there. And really, what it turns out is it's just random people will be down there. It could be media members, former players, Could be celebrities, if that's what the word's considered, or it could be NBA, phenoms. So like out of the blue, it's really hard to miss a guy in the NBA, not just any guy in the NBA. Guy that's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best scorers the game's ever seen, and he's also the tallest person by a wide margin that was there, and it was Rocco's boy, Kevin Durant. He is very tall. Like I've been dwarfed by Shaquille O'Neal when I was a kid. Like everyone gets dwarfed by Shaq. He's massive. There's Jonathan Ogden, and J.O. is just a monster. And then KD, I can see why they say like the Slim Reaper. He ain't like massive, but he's got the height. It is you knew when he entered the field as soon as he was able to enter the field.
Well, I looked over and I had an oh shit moment 1,000%. And like, that's like, I told you I'd try not to get starstruck this weekend. I don't typically get starstruck because it's like working in the media business for a long time. You see a lot of people, and that's not like I see everybody. Like, it's just meet some really cool people. But Kevin Durant at Citizens Bank Park, taking in the All-Star game, was not on my bingo card for 2026 or any point in my life for that matter. And just like him, like walking through the crowd, shaking everyone's hand, doing interviews, seemed like a really nice guy. Like, that was, holy shit, it's Kevin Durant and he's standing right next to us. So it's that was a pretty awesome moment to see that he was in Philly at Citizens Bank Park and kind of taking in the action. So
being 240 pounds at 6'11", 7 foot does not seem healthy, but I mean,
dude,
it's crazy. Like the Slim Reaper, as you're saying, like it's a crazy body type, but dude knows how to hoop.
He
knows how to hoop. Dude knows how to hoop.
Guy knows how to ball. Guy has the ball. It was there were some other guys you sat there or go by that still like look like they can play or look like, they're just the freak athletes.
Yep.
Another one in a different sense, because he's not as big as when he did play, but he still looks like he could hit a ball 450. Saw Ryan Howard.
Yeah, Ryan Howard he was taking over the internet for a while. Everyone was talking about that. They're like, biggest takeaways from this weekend is Ryan Howard looks fantastic.
He looked great. That was also the Rocco. I think the two moments for Rocco were Ryan Howard and Kevin Durant. Is that a fair assessment, Rock? I think is what came about with that.
I mean, Ryan Howard, like growing up, like watching the Phillies, just like now being in this area, Ryan Howard's a hero here in Philadelphia, won a World Series in 2008. Like, he's the guy, and just like looks like he can still play. Like, looks like he can go out and still hit 40 plus homers in a season. Like, hasn't skipped a beat. Now he's in the podcast world. So that'd be a cool guest for the future that we potentially have to have on. But it was awesome getting to meet him. And like you said, Rip, it really was like the who's who, like of athletes and former ball players and former managers there, like Kenny Lofton, Ryan Howard, Gary Sheffield, CC Sabathia, Joe Torre, Aaron Hicks. We got to talk with Aaron Hicks for a little bit, former Oriole. It was Bobby Bonilla,
Bobby Bo.
Yeah,
got to see Bobby Bo.
I'm really kicking myself because I forgot to wish him a happy belated Bobby Bonilla Day, but maybe next time, maybe next July, we can circle back and say that.
You got some years left to continue to do that there.
Yeah,
for the payout. This is maybe I just explained then why. And we'll get to some other photos of just the goofy stuff, because do we have any other specific videos that you guys wanted to show? I didn't know. We had so much there, Rock, and I know we're going to put out on social media as well from the interviews that we had with all the players. So Miz, Brian Baker, and Adley, which from the game, I guess, if that's the last one, that did come to life. We won't play it just because of the copyright stuff, but Brian Baker got to throw to Adley to close the game out. Adley also caught Drew Rasmussen, who is also teammates together at Oregon State. It was really cool. It was a cool thing. But here's my soapbox. Right, Nate?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Soapbox. MLB is still the best all-star package that's out there. And I don't think it's close. I think what the NHL did, what they experimented with, can showcase how great some things could be. But the consistency of what you get year in and year out, even if you think the product of the game wasn't as good, MLB All-Star always wins, because in the summer, first off, at that time of year, no one else is playing. It's just baseball. And everyone, all the eyes, and if you're like, I'm not going to watch it, well, if you do end up watching sports, it's going to be baseball that night. But the other part of this with the festivities early on, and I was really curious about how the home run derby was going to go, and I did that reaction video on the field, but I still live by that. I love the old format of 10 outs because you had to be strategic, but then you realize it can get long. So you then compromised a new variation of it this year. Let's do 20 swings, not timed. And I thought that was one of the best ideas Major League Baseball has had in years. Now, the only thing that you could talk about is if you wanted it for everybody, having it on Netflix, that's something you got to think about moving forward. But in person, the Derby was probably one of the best experiences that I could go back and remember for quite some time, going back to really the old format. And I think Barry Bonds even said on the Netflix streaming, Jordan Walker had to hit 3 or 4, was it 5 in a row, Zach? Because I'm sorry about your bet.
It's 6 straight.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things. I bet on Jordan Walker, but I put the biggest one on Kyle Schwarber. But it was a no sweat, so got that back. But I was like, we could walk away with like $80.
I was sweating, and so were Philly fans, Zach. There was no sweat about it. That was
it was nice because like I took 3 guys to win it. I actually had the most on Junior Caminero, who just won. Hope day to day. Hope that what a scary moment last night. That was horrific. Schwarber, and then I just liked. I'm not gonna lie. I just out of vibes put one on Jordan Walker, and of course that was the smallest one because I was like, what if Jordan Walker? He's on my Dingers only team, so I only did it because out of support. Good for him. Also have Ben Rice on the Dingers only team, but I can't put money on a Yankee because even if you combine he and Jazz's score from past 2 years, neither of them advanced to the second round. So like Yankees in the home run derby, it's a lot of double plays.
Yankees also got the most boos outside of anyone going against Schwarber. Yankees got the most boos of the players, but
everyone got booed. Let's be real.
No, everyone got booed, but even on the night of, Bellinger and Ben Rice, they got booed heavily. And then on the game night, home run derby, it was Ben Rice who got the loudest boo that wasn't going against Schwarber. Then all the boos were the loudest against whoever Schwarber was going against at the end, Contreras, and then with Jordan Walker. But on All-Star night, Juan Soto, loudest by far, and he freaking was loving that shit. He was egging it on. He embraced it.
It was Soto and the guys from Atlanta. It was like, regardless if you're on the NL All-Star team, standing alongside the Phillies, your teammates, you're still the ops, and anyone can get it in Philadelphia. Like there was a situation where one of the kids out in like center field, shagging the balls for the home run derby, dropped one or like didn't catch it, got booed.
Yeah, he actually he did an interview.
Everyone on the All-Star game night got booed unless you were a Philly or Mike Trout, which was pretty cool because Mike Trout's like from the area. So
did you hear that, Rock, that the kid got interviewed?
No.
Yeah, they interviewed the kid. He's 17 years old. Let me try to find it. But he said he loved being booed, and he said when he comes back for other games, he's going to make sure to boo all the fans as well that booed him. He said he'll just give it right back. So that's the way you got to go about it.
And Jordan Walker, even at the end, they said they don't boo scrubs, right?
Yeah.
They don't boo people if you ain't good. And I got to say, with Barry Bonds, to go to my point, he said it was one of the greatest home run derby moments he'd ever seen. You can argue which one it can be, but it's up there for one of, because he hit 6 straight to win the thing. 6 straight he had to hit, and he hit, and it was sensational. Like, truly was sensational. The bat throw, Philly, it felt like they walked out, it felt like they lost Game 7 of the World Series in some capacity. I know it might be exaggerating, but everyone was all pumped up, Zach, and as soon as Walker hit it, everyone just left. Like, not like no congratulations, just left.
Well, it was funny because when Jordan Walker was up, you had to completely switch everything you know about home run derbies and like fan reaction, because usually in a home run derby, guy hits like a 450, 500-foot homer and the place is going nuts. Every time you would hear a crowd pop, you're like, okay, it's not getting out. Okay, he grounded out. Okay, that was foul. And then it would hit the bat and the place would go silent and you're like, moonshot. Okay, 450. It would be like the most impressive home run you've ever seen. And it felt like the commentators would be like golfing. They're like, wow, another one out into left field. And it's just dead silent. And then he'd miss it. And then they'd have to be screaming because the fans are like, yep, not going to make it out of here. And then on the home runs, it'd be like, another shot into left. It's like, this place is just, nothing's normal here.
It was rocking, and Philly energies were high. Balls were being freaking annihilated. And I'll say this, though. I know that, it was a little breezy night. The balls had a little bit more oomph to it, more than usual. Wilson Contreras hit a ball, Zach. I swear to you, I'm like, he mishit that. And I look at it, it's like 15 rows up, 450. And I go, how in the hell are we here? The 492 for another one? We had 470s being just thrown out there, and it's going, hey, you know what? This is for the fans. This is entertainment. Having said that, the balls might have been a little bit lighter, had a little bit more.
It was they were getting them 2024 Aaron Judge home run race balls out there, juice to the brim. Actually, funny enough, the betting line for longest home run was 485.5, and Contreras beat it on his, I think, second swing.
Yep.
And everyone was like, okay, well.
What kind of baffled me is Jack Caglione put one in the third deck, and that rarely happens at Citizens Bank Park. But that wasn't even one of the top 5 longest home runs in the Derby, but he got all of it. Like, he freaking nuked that ball. And it was a thing of beauty to watch it like sail.
Did you guys have a good view of Junior Camanero's one, the controversial one, the ending, his final swing?
That they drilled?
No, when they said his final one, I guess it was
the home run derby.
Yeah, the home run derby. He hit the ball, and the umps were pretty much like, hey, that's foul. The commentators were like, yeah, that was definitely foul. But Junior Caminero and all the guys on the field were like looking down, they're like, that was a fair ball. Like, that was 1,000,000% a fair ball. And they just didn't do anything. Like, they didn't go to a replay of it. They showed one replay from a bad angle where you can't see anything. They're like, oh, I don't know. Okay, let's move on. And everyone was like on the internet, like, can we get a review? Are we not going to get any angle of this very big home run? Because then Jordan Walker, I mean, it was his night no matter what. He was winning that round, whether Junior got 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Jordan was going to roll.
A lot of people were like, whoa, why are we not looking at this?
Yeah. Well, we're going to I know we're relaxing, having a good time, but if you're competing out there, also you're competing for $1 million. Jordan Walker won $1 million. That's more than his yearly salary for the Cardinals. He made he's making $799,000, but he just won $1 million for winning the home run derby. And yeah, I mean, for these guys, like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's great. Dude, if I'm out there and I'm competing, I want to win that damn thing. I don't want to, let's give me a tap there. Let's see this shit. But in general, besides that, it was great. And I know I've seen some other articles about the MLB All-Star side, and I like Buster Olney just had a piece out saying that All-Star game's in a fragile state. I think all-star games are in a situation where they're not watchable anymore, or the quality isn't good enough. But the thing with baseball is you can't fake that when you go out on the mound. And I know there was a lot of strikeouts. I think half of the recorded outs in this all-star game, I believe, you guys can fact check me, were strikeouts. But with it, you still go out there and you got to throw fuzz. Dylan Cease did his thing. The American League in the top of the first battled their ass off against Sanchez and had some good at bats. There were good moments, and you can't fake that. And also, you want to – I'm cool with the players being mic'd up for that and Bryce Harper challenging, but you have to go and play the game still. You don't have to go full speed as far as, running down the line and trying to kill yourself over something. But baseball, you can't just go through the motion of swinging a bat and throwing a ball if you're trying to go out there and compete on that side. Where it's fragile is the guys that opt to not participate. That's the only part for me. Like Cam Schlittler, don't blame him. He wanted to be ready for the second half of the season or the final stretch. Guys, Ohtani opts out. It makes sense. I completely get that. But
do you see Foster Griffin talking about that actually? About
go ahead.
The rules in Japan. So in Japan, it is mandatory that you play in the All-Star game if you are selected. And if you opt out, you have to go on the injured list. So you cannot participate in the next few games because they're saying that's the only reason that you wouldn't show up. They're like, oh, you must be hurt. If you were selected to the All-Star game, you must be hurt. So like you either play in it if you're physically capable of, you're playing in it. If you're not, well, you can get out of it, but you're on the injured list. Also, I will say, talking about reviews, All-Star game, no longer for home field, all that. We got to cap the reviews. We're reviewing this potential double play on Bobby Witt for like 4.5 minutes. And everyone was like, okay, after 45 seconds, it's just make a call. It's an exhibition game. Like we don't need to be spending 5 minutes getting every angle to see if Bobby Witt Jr. was safe or not. It was like, just come out and be like, hey, no one wants to wait around any longer. So we're just going to continue the game.
Yeah, of all the things, I'd rather the 4.5 minutes in a play in a do or die game during the season.
Yeah.
And get that right than in the All-Star game. But point being, I still think look how downhill the NBA All-Star game has gone. Look at any other All-Star. The Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl is non-existent. It's not a Pro Bowl anymore.
It's not a thing anymore.
Glorified flag football game, and no offense to flag football, it's going to be in the Olympics, but like NFL is so much different than flag football, and fans who watch the NFL deserve some sort of competition, some sort of physicality there. I get guys don't want to get hurt, but like I can get hurt. You can get hurt training. You can blow your knee out training. It's like, do you have to go 100%? No, it's whatever. But like you look back to the Sean Taylor days when he blew up the punter on a 4th down fake, took the punter's head off. People love to see the best of the best compete in an all-star game because that's what it's all about. And you know what? Here's my take on MLB's all-star game or any other all-star game. If you opt out of an all-star game or say you're not going to go, okay, then you shouldn't be named an all-star again. You shouldn't get the opportunity to have all-star next to your name for the next however many years. You don't want to participate? Fine, that's on you, but don't participate for the future years and that's what it is.
And the thing is, if you're really hurt, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rock, with like the injuries and things like that. If you have an injury and you need to play for the second half, like a true injury, I get it. I 100% get it. But the reason why the MLB All-Star experience here, you can, if you have the chance, like the media, it's the closest you can have the interactions. They have the All-Star villages where they have a ton of other former players that come in. Under Armour had players there for their activation, so on and so forth. But if you are healthy enough to be there, you should be there. It's an honor. Brian Baker was making comments. I don't know if I'll be at another one of this, and he's taking it in. Foster Griffin, you just mentioned, Zach. Foster Griffin is a rookie this year, coming back from Japan, and barely got a cup of coffee in the big leagues before this. You don't think that moment when it came about to say, I want to be here. This is amazing. It does. Ask Ryan O'Hearn. Oh, it meant a ton to him. We had Austin Hayes on earlier in the year. Hayes talks about that moment of starting in the game with the family because there's no guarantee you get back. And I guess maybe for some of the stars, you feel that it won't. But one thing that I've always loved from the All-Star game for baseball than any other, there are memories that just stay with you with the MLB All-Star week. I saw a video on Instagram, and I apologize for not remembering the name of the creator, but it was trying to make a spoof of the kid making fun of his dad for watching the All-Star game. And he said, "Son, let me show you." And so they brought up iconic moments. We're looking at, and I'm looking back to it because we recently just having guests on, when Ted Williams stepped on the field at Fenway Park. I was a young kid there. But you ask all the old legends, they go, man, Ted Williams at Fenway. And then Pedro Martinez played the game. You know what Pedro did? He just mowed down the National League order to start off the game. One after another after another. It's an iconic memory. The moment where, even for my dad, where he gets moved to shortstop, and then he goes deep in his final appearance. Or Ichiro Suzuki having the only inside the park home run of all time. Or you can go back and look at last year in the swing-off competition. That was iconic. The Sandlot this year. Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds in Milwaukee. Like, we can look to these moments, and I can't think of other sports guys where you go, look at those stars doing something that we'll remember. And I know it's different, but I think baseball, in my mind, I think the MLB Home Run Derby, if they keep the format, hands down is the best festivity in all of the sports there. And then for the All-Star game right now, if I were to pick, I still think that the MLB, given that it's changed, is still number one. And I not trying to be biased, but I don't think it's relatively close. If NHL does its new format of the nations, I think that would rival. Like, that would win it. But if it's not that, it's MLB all the way. So
what is the Rock, maybe, or even Nate, maybe, what is the every 4 nations? Are they doing that? Is that an every 4 years thing? Is it an every other years thing? Or was that the one and done in 2025? What are they?
For sure, but I think it's every 4 years.
Yeah, that would hate that. Absolutely hate that. We need that needs to be, if anything, every other year. That was
awesome.
That was such a fantastic.
That because they actually wanted to beat the absolute shit out of one of another, and there was the pride of playing for the country. The other part, Rock, I think we're in agreement. The Home Run Derby needs to have a hometown player compete every single year.
I would agree with that. Yeah, 1,000%. I think that Philly fans are passionate, but can you imagine, like, if I can't say when because it's not announced yet, but if it ever does get announced, we're hoping it does very soon. You've kind of beat the drum for it, but Camden Yards, and I saw Justin say, hey, would you like to see Samuel Basayo in the Home Run Derby next year? I want to see Samuel Basayo or an Oriole in the Home Run Derby at Camden Yards when it's there. And I want to see someone hit the warehouse like Griffey did back in, what year was it? 93. So, like, I would love to absolutely see that. I think, we've seen how passionate O's fans are for better and for worse. Like, when the team's losing and when the team's winning, the passion comes out. I love that. But this is a city and a fan base that would back the hell out of their guys if they were in the Home Run Derby, and it would be unbelievable, just that setting and that atmosphere there. So, yeah, Rip, I definitely agree with that. You got to get the hometown guys in the Home Run Derby. That is a must. It doesn't, like, I don't, you want to see the big home run hitters do it, but find someone. And if it's your all-star that hits like maybe 2 home runs a year, I don't care. Put them in the Derby. If they're the hometown kid, it's definitely something that needs to happen.
I brought this up yesterday. The last thing I want is Samuel Bassett ever competing in one of those. I said Pete Alonso or no Oriole at all. I understand. It's just because of what we've been through as Oriole fans. I watched it ruin Chris Davis's second half. I watched it ruin Adley Rutschman's second half. I watched it ruin Gunner's. Like I'm done with the change in swings for
There's
home run
always
derbies.
a risk with it.
And that's why Pete Alonso been there. He knows how to win it, how to keep it going after. I said yesterday, I was like, I want Pete Alonso to go try hard in an Orioles uniform. I want to see him deadlifting before his at-bats, in the cage. I want to do the deadlifts again. I want to experience that, not hate watching it because he's going against Trey Mancini. I would like to finally root for him in those moments.
That would be pretty cool. And these are moments.
Zach hates fun. We get it.
If the fun takes out Samuel Basseto's swing for the second
I
half,
understand that. Yes.
I will surely be the one against fun.
In a perfect world, he competes in the home run derby eventually because he's got so much pop, and then he has a great second half. That's all you can ask for.
I would love it.
Of course.
I would love it.
Would love that.
Yeah.
But I get where you're coming from.
I get a guarantee the swing ain't going to change. I would love it. Also, last thing, Rocco, do the Phillies play tomorrow? What are we doing?
It's freaking crazy. Well, another thing I saw, and Rip, I don't know if you want to touch on this at all, but just talking about baseball did a lot of good. And there's like the home run derby was awesome. The MLB All-Star game was fantastic. But I did see a comment here, and I want to pull it up. And I believe
it's about
it was
the
Sharon.
streaming.
Yeah, Sharon talking about the streaming. Couldn't watch the home run derby due to it being on Netflix. That was an issue for a lot of people. And for I have Netflix, Rip, I believe you have Netflix, Zach, you have Netflix. Some people share it with their families. Not everyone has Netflix, and this is an event. Listen, streaming is taking over, and if the money's there and they're throwing money at a league, it's inevitably things are going to happen where they take a deal and they put it on Netflix, or they take a deal and they put it on Prime, or they take a deal and they put it on Apple TV. Who does that suck for? It sucks for a lot of the baseball purists and the people, not necessarily all older than us, but I think about, my dad, people that are older than him, and the people that don't have streaming services, but the people who are diehard fans and want to watch 162 games of baseball a year through their service providers and through those packages that they have, and not have to pay extra to watch one of their favorite events when it comes on. That's the part of it that, to me, is a bit of a miss. And again, Netflix is doing great things with sports, but not everyone has Netflix. And then you look at the affordability. I was talking to someone at the All-Star game, and they're like, they put things into perspective. They're like, a week for a family of like 4 or 5, that's a couple grand. Like when you include hotel, when you include food, on top of the ticket prices. Now you can get into the lottery, and the tickets are still a couple $100s, but the resale value, we need to do, like, as a collective. We can't do it, but just as a collective, sports, concerts, a lot of other things, like the ticket prices are getting out of hand right now for everything. And it's sad for, as younger kids, listen, we weren't paying thousands of dollars to go to a Phillies game or to go down to Baltimore and go to an O's game. I think a road trip maybe costs, like, to go see the O's and Phillies back in like 2011, might have cost like, I don't know, $150 for everyone to get on a bus, go down, go to the ESPN zone if it was still there at the time, then come back. Like, it was affordable, or it felt affordable back then. Now it's just like prices are getting out of hand. Streaming services, it sucks for the older generation and the younger generation as well. But it's just like, it's kind of where things are going. And it's,
what's the NFL
that's the sad
thing?
part about it.
Yeah.
What was it like to watch every NFL game? You have to
It
spend
was
like
700.
Yeah, it's like you said, Rocco. It's kind of where everything's going. I don't agree with it, but yeah.
Here's the other part. So, of all the things that you were mentioning, because we could go down a whole separate rabbit hole of teams, entertainment, the big events like the World Cup, very expensive to go to. All these parts, and look, the supply and demand part, whether you like it or not, someone's going to pay for it. It always ends up happening, and I wish that it'd be fair for everyone to do it. I don't see that part changing as much, just given the landscape of how sports are. But what baseball and all the other sports have to be careful of is making sure that your fans and the diehards from around that love to be a part of something special, you don't take them out of the equation. It's the same thing with everything you're trying to talk about. Enhance the game, grow the game. Well, growing the game is making sure past, present, and future still can tune in when they can for events like this. Like, could you imagine if you made the World Series streaming? It'd be terrible.
It would be awful. Would be
It
the
would
worst
be awful.
decision the
So-
MLB ever made.
It would, and there's a reason why when you look at the big events, they don't do it. And I don't blame companies for wanting to make money, right? Like, groups are wanting to spend millions and millions of dollars for it. But here's an example. Netflix, I think, spent somewhere in the 350 or 350 million. If someone could look that up for me on that, for like 5 football games last year.
I'm just not going to do that, Zach.
Okay. Zach, if you can look that up for me, because this is
500 million per season.
Fraud beating.
so Netflix paid 500 million per season.
It's
for
about
the NFL.
It comes out to roughly 75 million per game.
Okay. Now I know this answer, but you Google for me, how much did Fox pay for FIFA for this World Cup?
It's actually not as much as you would think.
It's
which is
not.
crazy.
So
It's
here-
485 million.
So that's exactly
485 million. That's it.
Yeah.
So here's my point is that Fox, for people to watch the game
Yeah.
on national broadcast for the entire World Cup
yeah.
is paying less than what Netflix
Yeah.
is playing for just a small slate of games.
Yeah, I will say, just for transparency, the Spanish broadcast of NBC's Universal's Telemundo is paid 600 million for the tournament. So it is, though, considered a widely significant bargain compared to the estimated $1 to $1.5 billion true market value. Because
So-
I mean, that's every game.
So for
78
Fo-
total games.
Fox in the US, 480. So 485.
That's insane. I mean, it's
Netflix,
like,
500 for 5 games or whatever it was, 6 games.
the
Fox, it was the entire season. So to finish my point, Rock, that you can
Yep.
go is this is where they got to be careful because the Derby was so great last night. I thought it was one of the best Derbies we've had in some time. However, I don't know how large on the scale of the audience into all those numbers I get to see, but you had an opportunity for everyone to see it and they didn't. And that's something to me when you talk about growing the game. I don't blame big companies for the money, but you also got to think about the quality and the customer, the fans, for wanting to continue to be a part of all of it.
and everyone deserved to see it as well. Like it was a fantastic event. Here's the last thing I'll say on this, Rip. It's again, don't blame Netflix for. I don't blame Netflix for wanting to broadcast the game at all or spend the money they're spending. Who am I to tell them, hey, don't spend millions of dollars to get one of the biggest events in sports on your streaming services? It's a no-brainer for them. But again, I just hate that not everyone could watch this and view it and had to, if they did, they had to take the extra steps to get it on their TV or their streaming platforms and pay to end up getting that. And number two, it's just, again, with the ticket prices, the price gouging, people reselling for higher value. I'm proud to say that I've never price gouged reselling tickets, and I'm not really a ticket reseller either. The people that do, they piss me off more than anything, that will jack the prices up. And you talk about supply and demand and sell them for way more than they're worth because it's, you know what? They can get a couple $100, whatever. It's good on you. But do you feel good about yourself doing that? Like, at the end of the day, I don't. So that's just me.
Time will tell. We're in a streaming sense. I mean, look, all of us doing this is streaming. Like, we're streaming. Like, that's where things are going. There's no doubt about it. It's just going to be, when you're going through all this, you just got to think about some of the possibilities when it comes to the big events.
Rocker, you got passionate. You got real passionate about price gouging. You're like, I have never once, not once in my life, dude.
And I won't. And if I do, listen, I'll own up to it. And I'll be like, I'm a piece of shit. That's just on me. But like, I will not price gouge anyone. If I'm selling a ticket if I bought a ticket for $250, if you wanted to go to the game, buy it off me for $250.
Yeah.
Sounds
No, I
good.
agree.
Sounds good. You got a deal. All right.
I mean, yeah.
Enjoy it.
No, I agree with you. I love the passion behind it. You kind of got a little fiery there. I was like, do not price gouge around Rocco.
It's just like, man, you can't go to concerts anymore. You can't go to games anymore without the concessions are already expensive as hell. Like you're paying $17 for a beer and, $10, $15 for a hot dog. And then you got to pay, the ticket, the get-in price, potentially parking as well. Like you're spending, if you're getting good seats, you're probably spending a couple $100. It's like you can't go to a game I mean, sometimes you can get good deals to good, like, or decent, or maybe even bad regular season games.
Overall for big events and doing things, and you're trying to have families involved. Yes, that's something you have to keep in mind. And that's why minor league baseball gets a lot of fans and the experience, because you get to watch games. It's cheap and you get to go out there and do your thing. It's something here with this CBA. Keep that in mind. Talking about cutting minor league teams out. I'm just saying that's something to talk about. But we got more to talk about here. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do this live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And you can also listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So if you're listening now, if you don't mind, could you hit that follow, subscribe, leave a review, give us a rating. Helps us continue to get the word out there. And follow us at Ryan Ripken Show on the social platforms. Zach, it is hot. It is steamy out there. So it's time for us to make sure we're staying cool. And we'll go from one stream to another. That's right. It is hot. Almost feels like 100 degrees. It might be 100 degrees outside. Well, with our friends over at AutoStream Car Care Center, they want to make sure if it's hot outside, it's cool in your car. And right now you can get $100 off any AC service when you mention Ryan Ripken or the Ryan Ripken Show at any of the 11 AutoStream locations throughout Maryland. It's that simple. They want to keep you cool as the summer months continue to get hotter and hotter. And right now we are in the midst of it all. So appreciate our friends over at AutoStream Car Care Center. $100 off again, any AC service mentioning my name, Ryan Ripken, or the Ryan Ripken Show. So from that stream back to this one, hey, a little hum now. We're about to have Keith Law join us here in a couple moments. But while we wait then, do we want to look at a couple photos of what transpired here, Rock? You picked your favorite.
Well, speaking of AC, do you have the photo of me in front of the fan? Because that would have been a perfect segue and a perfect world. But I know you need help. I'm here to help you. If I would have had the photo, I would have had it queued up and ready to go. But it's like hand holding throughout the day. So I told everyone, Zach,
it's hand holding
at the All-Star
Zach,
game.
You want to hear about our Uber experience yesterday?
Yeah, actually, Rocco was telling me.
It's a good one. But Brian was like my golden retriever the whole time, because anytime he got stopped, 10 to 15 minute conversation at most. Loves everyone, loves to talk. He's a great kid, but it's like sometimes I just got to reel him in and say, heel, let's go. We're moving on. Come on. So,
what did Rocco tell you about the Uber story?
From what it sounds like, it started as an Uber story and maybe ended as not an Uber story.
Well, listen, I appreciate my Lord and Savior Ryan Ripken for, letting me watch Christopher Sanchez pitch the top half of the first and then getting to see Kyle Schwarber at least get one at bat in the All-Star game to lead off. He was patient. He waited. It was fantastic. I know Keith just entered the studio, so we will probably get to this conversation afterwards. But
we'll get to it. But Zach, out of curiosity, of the two of us, of Rocco and I, who would know more about the landscape of getting out of Philly? Rocco?
You would really think. Okay. You would really think it'd be the guy who resides
I'm
there.
not here for the slander because I had a plan. It's not my fault the Uber driver canceled, and then it was like 2 minutes away and then went 6 minutes away. And it's also not my fault that you scheduled a train for 9:34 on All-Star night when we could have watched the whole thing. You could have stayed over again. Had a good time at Casa de Sangro, but you know what? You do what you do. So it is what it is.
So what I heard is a lot of ungratefulness in this conversation.
I hate
right?
you.
I bought him ice cream.
He did buy me ice cream.
I bought him ice cream, and he didn't eat it quick enough.
It was the helmet ice cream. I did eat it. I actually I looked over at one point. My ice cream's like melting on the helmet, on my hands, through my fingers. And Rip had already scarfed his down. He's like an animal. I told
Well,
you.
because it's
Well, no.
also it's hot outside. Ice cream melts.
Yeah. I'll say this. Rocco brought this up earlier, and I had a bone to pick. The
Yeah.
fact that you both got the helmet ice creams and we don't have one here, you both got rid of your helmet.
Yeah,
the whole point of getting the helmet ice cream
Yep.
is to have the helmet.
That was a miss.
That was of the mistakes that I made. That is one that would be the blunder that I would think of for my
It's
weekend.
tough. It's tough. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Me getting out of the city, Rocco's fault.
we'll
But
get to that. We'll get to that after we bring
later
Keith on.
because we got it. Because while everything was going on in Philly, guys, the draft did happen. By the way, like everyone's trying to get used to it. It comes, it goes, and whammy. Well, the Orioles, just like every other team throughout Major League Baseball, they just completed their 2026 draft class. So to help me break it down and a whole lot more, and maybe he can give me some other opinions as well. But Keith, if you're ready, just give me a thumbs up. Oh, yeah, we're back. We're so back. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on friend of the show and program, Mr. Keith Law. Keith, sorry about that before. There was a little bit of us getting out of Philly last night.
Yeah.
You know, and I do agree though with Zach. I should have brought the ice cream cup home. That seems like a rookie mistake on my part.
I don't know. Like still with ice cream in it, like those things were
No, they
melting
just-
the moment you walked away from the stand. Like I saw other people with the. Did you get the Schwarbomb Sunday?
No, that would have been too much. We just got
That's a lot,
in the helmet. We would have to go clean it. You know,
But
so-
getting
yeah,
the
it's
commemorative
gross.
helmet, you gotta find a way to keep. The whole point of getting the commemorative helmet is to at least keep one of them.
Yeah.
For the studio, we have a studio. Needs decoration.
I know, Keith. This is what I'm working with.
I
I'm
can
still
tell.
trying to get used to everything with the All-Star side. I'm curious now with this being a few years. How does it fit with you with draft around the All-Star festivities and the futures game and everything at once? Fan, not a fan of all the chaos?
Chaos is fine. Putting the futures game in the middle of the draft is insane. Like, what are they doing? They're trying to bury two events. Like, those are pretty much got the same audience. People who are interested in prospects. And 11:30 Sunday morning, they resume the draft with the fifth round, and at noon they start the futures game. So I had to just pretend the draft wasn't happening because I have to cover the futures game also, and then get home, write up the futures game, and then catch up on 10 rounds of the draft that had happened by the time between when it started when I actually was able to turn my attention. So I don't know what they're doing, but they don't either.
And I think I was hoping you would get to that because that's how I felt. I don't blame for trying to do it all at once. And I talked to some other MLB executives about this too, even with the process leading up. They even said, hey, I'd rather just still keep it in June. I already know. I have a good idea who I'm drafting by then anyway. I get that you want to make it into something, but the bigger part is it shouldn't eat away at two big events. The MLB draft is a big event. The futures game is a big event. Separate them. And make your job easier, Keith. Well, out of curiosity, you wrote about that before we get to the draft. Who'd you like? What'd you like there for the futures game?
Seth Hernandez, the Pirates pitcher, right-hander, who's their first-round pick last year, by far the most impressive kid. Elite changeup. He was 98 to 100. He can spin a breaking ball. He pretty much threw strikes. I'd seen him in a longer start too, not just in high school, but about 6 weeks ago when he first got called up to high A. So I knew what he was, what I might expect to see. But just to see a kid, a year out of high school, show up in a big league stadium with a crowd there and totally unfazed, right? Here's my best stuff, just daring guys to hit him or not hit him, as it turned out. He was incredibly impressive. The pitching dominated most of the day. I'll just say, like, JoJo Parker for the Blue Jays came in, got 2 PA at the end of the game. First one was 8 pitch at bat, longest anybody had in the game. Second at bat, he gets 101, kind of middle in, and turns on it for a double off the wall. It's just 2 at bats. It's not changing the scouting report, but it's really impressive to see a kid have a great at bat and then be like 101, no problem. I can turn on that.
Yeah, must be nice. But that's their pitching usually dominates. It dominated the All-Star game last night as well. One thing I want to ask you then with the draft as a whole, and since you just talked about with Seth on being a young pitcher, a high school arm, right? Mm-hmm. There's this still huge debate on taking pitchers that early. And I talked to Steve Bernhardt with Baseball Factory and the Under Armour game, a couple weeks or last week. Gosh, we're losing track of time. And just that some cases you go, well, there's a couple arms here, but there's still pushback on this or taking a picture from high school. I mean, I don't think I've ever asked you your take on this. Where do you kind of land on this? Because it seems like there is a trend about not wanting to take high school pitchers as much or that high.
Yeah.
If you don't mind elaborating.
That's what it is. It's taking them that high. And I wrote this in my second book. So that's like 6 years ago now that came out. That taking high school pitchers in the first round is a bad risk. They fail at a higher rate because they get hurt or just don't work out, don't develop. I think a lot of it is because who are the high school pitchers who go in the first round? It's almost always the hardest throwers, right? And so those guys are going to be more likely to suffer injury issues, or they're the guys who've just pitched a ton because they were so good so early. They were used constantly, deep in games for their high school showcases, etc. So my thing has always been first round, take best player available, not a high school pitcher. Once you get to your second pick, have at it. Absolutely. Or if your first pick isn't until, the Dodgers didn't pick till 40, Yankees didn't pick till 35, Phillies didn't pick till 36. Any of those teams had said, we're going to take a high school pitcher, I'd say fine. Most of the best college players are already off the board by that point, unless somebody falls to you, which really happened. The Yankees they were smart and lucky. They got a college pitcher from Arkansas who slid to them, and my understanding is they didn't even think he was going to get there. They popped him. But take all the high school pitchers you want. Just don't take them first. Get one more certain guy in the bag at a point in the draft where there's a lot of talent still on the board. Once you get to second, third, fourth round, the guy you're passing up on to get that high school pitcher is probably not that much less risky or has a lot less reward.
Yeah, there's definitely the give and take of the young pitchers, and some that still come to mind, and I talked to you about this before. 2014, the second time I got drafted, Tyler Kolek was one of the top picks overall, flamethrower out of high school, didn't pan out, a lot of injuries. Then another guy that made it to the big leagues, but also dealt with a lot of injuries coming out of high school was Dylan Bundy. So there is something there. And right now, looking at it, the only high school kid or two high school pitchers in the first round were Rojas and
Borthwick.
That's right. Yep. So, that's what you're looking at here. And they want to have the college arm. And there was one college arm that was taken earlier. That was the overall top consensus pitcher, Jackson Flora, right? And college guy. So, which leads me to this. The Orioles didn't even have a chance then in their mind to take a guy, nor would I think that they would take a guy that high as a pitcher. Mm-hmm. But they went outfielder here, Keith, and they went not a college bat, which is something that the front office has done. So I need to hear the Keith Law breakdown of the Orioles taking Eric Booth Jr.
I liked it. He wouldn't have necessarily been my pick, but he is super talented. He's an elite runner, 80 speed. He really should be able to be a quality center fielder. My understanding from guys who've seen him, especially area guys who've seen him multiple times, he's not there yet. He's going to need work on things like reading the ball off the bat, developing better routes to make use of his speed, but he should have tremendous range. He has good bat to ball skills and a pretty good idea of the strike zone already, which is unusual for any high school kid, but particularly one from the deep South. I don't love the setup or the swing. For a guy who's super athletic and loose and twitchy, he's very stiff in the box. And I don't think he's getting anything out of his hips, out of his lower half to be able to drive the ball, even though he's reasonably physical. This isn't Enrique Bradfield Jr., where it's going to be singles all day long, maybe some doubles and triples because of his speed. Booth could come into some power, at least enough to make himself more than just that sort of either you're a leadoff hitter or you're a number 9 hitter. You want to be able to do a little more damage if you're talking about the guy taken 7th in the country. And I think he can get there. So I think the Orioles do kind of have their work cut out for them, but also they got a ton of potential, more upside than they've gotten with, honestly, most of their first round picks since Adley.
Yeah, and the Orioles have gone with those college bats typically with those picks and those higher picks, including besides Adley was Heston, Kauser.
Yep.
Then last year, Ike Irish, Aloy out of Arkansas. Yeah, there's a theme here, but Zach, you got to follow up.
Yeah, Keith, real fast.
Yeah.
I'm glad you actually brought up the Enrique Bradfield Jr. Not comp, but it feels like a lot of people, especially the first reaction when Eric Booth Jr. gets taken, is people, the first thing, kind of like you just said, was, hey, maybe he has to switch up his swing a little bit. Alarm bells go off for a lot of fans, and they're going, we just got a guy, a center fielder with tons of great athleticism, and Enrique Bradfield Jr. with that difference of, okay, the swing isn't always there. Can you explain kind of the difference, especially for a high schooler at 18, literally 18 years old, pretty much freshly 18, turning 18 on July 4th, compared to, maybe the red flag of the swing isn't the best compared to a college hitter who you're looking at and going, hey, that's 4 years older, that's playing through the SEC and still having these struggles?
Yeah, I'd rather take a high schooler where I think I'm going to have to make mechanical changes of any sort, right? Delivery, swing, setup, whatever part of the player you're talking about. I mean, that's honestly a lot of cases that's true with physical changes. If you look at a guy where it's like, no, we're going to have to put weight on him, we're going to take weight off of him, we're going to have to redistribute the weight. In the case of Bradfield, for example, he was better as a freshman at Vanderbilt. I always liked the player because he can run and he can really run, he can really defend. And I always said there's a little more power in there than you think. It's not going to be actual game power, but it's not Jacob Wilson, Nick Madrigal, where they just can't impact the ball at all. But Bradfield had developed this sort of over-complex two-part swing where he was trying to lift and pull the ball. And he is the last guy on earth who should be hitting like that. And the Orioles take him, and they haven't changed him. He's been hurt a lot, so that they haven't had a ton of opportunities, but it's been 3 years now. We should see some kind of adjustment, some kind of change to his mechanics. At least with Booth, though, he's 18. He is, and he's probably never had swing instruction. He's probably never had that kind of coaching. Whereas Bradfield went to Vanderbilt's a great program. So he probably had a lot of voices in his ear trying to get him to change stuff. And my sense has always been that what Bradfield did on his own, maybe wasn't as willing to undo it. Whereas with Booth, take any high school kid, almost any high school kid. The worst you've got is maybe he had one private coach you're trying to deal with from high school. But otherwise, it's kind of a blank canvas, and you get an opportunity to do more, to make more changes at a point where he's younger, should be physically more able to adapt, and probably mentally a little more plastic too, in terms of taking new ideas and implementing them.
Yeah, I agree. And then to follow up, another Oriole draft pick, as we always talk about, the Orioles don't have to worry about them taking a pitcher early on. They're not, that's so it gets to the third round. Orioles fans see, okay, Dominic Vegley, Kansas, finally take a pitcher, and he has, I believe it's a 5.85, a 5.79 ERA. And then fans immediately are like, we took who in the third round? Can you kind of explain scouts what they're looking at for a guy like Vegley, where they clearly don't care about the ERA? They're looking at other things. So can you kind of explain that pick and why the ERA should not deter people from him?
And I have concerns about Vegley, but I also understand why they took him, right? The number one thing, so you've got your scouts and you've got your R&D in the draft room now. The scouts are out there looking at quality of the stuff. They're evaluating subjectively. What do his pitches look like? What's the delivery look like? How does he repeat it? What kind of athlete is he? How does he move on the mound? What's his command? Does he seem to understand how to set up pitchers? Analysts, on the other hand, are looking at pitch data. And pitch shapes is a big phrase we use a lot now, which is really just another way of saying trying to take all the movement on a pitch from the moment it leaves the pitcher's hand, including where, like how far he's extending out over his front side, to horizontal movement and vertical movement and the spin on the pitch, to get an understanding of how does this pitch move relative to other pitches we've seen in our database that were more or less successful. In the case of Vegley, yeah, he's kind of raw material, right? I don't actually know if he's going to be a starter, not because of the ERA, but because it's kind of a low arm slot, slingy arm action that is hard for a lot of guys to repeat, particularly when it's longer in the back. More compact, maybe a little better chance to repeat it. He does throw hard. He can spin the ball. He'll show you both a slider and a curveball. I thought either of those pitches can end up being an out pitch for him, but he's a big development guy. Then, the Orioles have had a couple of successes. Zirwa and Quinn from last year's draft are legit. Yeah. Zero threw all of 2 pitches in the futures game. They were good pitches, but he only threw 2.
Yeah.
I saw Quinn start here in Wilmington about a week and a half ago. He is a future mid-rotation starter. He's got to develop the changeup. He's got to throw the changeup more. But get there, and you got a mid-rotation guy. So they picked two guys who were pretty good. Begley is going to require more work than they will. He's just further away, is going to require more help. And one thing I'll just kind of come back to on hitters and pitchers, their player development has not been great the last few years. Right? We've seen a lot of guys come in, and we think he can do this and this and this with some help. And right, Honeycutt hasn't panned out, and Fabian hasn't panned out, and O'Farrell has disappeared. Anderson hasn't panned. Like, it is a long list. Aloy this year, like, I know he's hit a bunch of home runs, but 92 right above the belt, you should not be missing that pitch, not as an SEC product. And it's been the same all year. Like, I got to see adjustments here. What is happening on the player development side to help make these guys better?
So in that case, because that'd be the same thing with some of the guys that got to Baltimore, and it's a longer-winded conversation, maybe for a different time, Keith. Of it's not necessarily a talent part per se, but because they had success. I mean, Jackson Holiday was number one prospect. Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman. Which Adley and Gunnar, I'm not long-term. I think we have a pretty good indication when they're healthy. You know, Jackson's still trying to figure it out, trying to be healthy, but then there is Hauser, Kerstad. That you want Kobe Mayo, another person.
The biggest one. Yep.
So they're clearly, I'm with you on that. There's a development side for them that is something's not connecting. I also think, Keith, I'm not the hugest platoon person when it comes to development of players. I understand it at the big league level.
Right.
But I think that was parts of that. Out of curiosity, did you ever scout closely Ben Rice by chance?
One or two games ever before the swing change that you've seen last year, right? I saw him in like Double A. I was like, that's not going to work. He was swinging way uphill. He was a bad catcher. They got him out from catching, which probably helped. I give that kid a ton of credit, because he changed his swing and he changed his body. He showed up before last year, and it was one of those situations where you're like, what? Is this an imposter? Did we get a different Ben Rice here? Right? But he had one of those swings that probably worked great for him. Played in the Ivy League, right? Worked great there, worked great in low minors. He could always tell a ball from a strike. He got to the big leagues that one time in 24 and started to struggle. And to his credit, he went out in the offseason and said, I got to make a change. He came back with a totally different swing.
Yeah, the reason why I bring it up is when I looked at his numbers as a lefty or lefty on left, he really struggled. In the minor leagues, he really struggled.
Yes, he did.
He's an everyday guy in the big leagues. Doesn't matter who's in there. And then even in the All-Star game, his base hit, it's off Sanchez, lefty, throwing 96-mile-an-hour sinkers. He made changes. Whatever the reasons are, the development side for the Orioles is still trying to figure it out, which maybe then goes to this list. I'm looking at some of these players that they just took. They took Kevin Roberts, high school kid, 4th round. They took Jimmy Anderson, fifth pick, which I believe they've liked him from last year, comes from a community college. And they take another high school kid in the 8th round. Do you think this is a little bit different from what they have been, or I guess I'm just trying to sort that out. Is it because you can mold more with the high school players, or what do you make of that?
Well, one, that people who ran the draft this year were different. Will Robertson's first-year scouting director. They brought in Danny Haas, who was the Nat scouting director. He's VP of scouting. And I know both those guys, and they clearly were going to try something different. I think it was a little bit of a, hey, this super college-heavy approach. We're getting guys who are good in A-ball. Usually, Honeycutt isn't, but usually these guys are good early and then stall, or they're not giving us the ceiling at the big league level that we're looking for. Like, you want stars. You play in a division with the Yankees and the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays will spend money. The Rays are often good even years we don't expect them to be good, right? You've got to go get stars for yourself somehow. And I think that's what this draft is. What is going to have to happen next is the way they develop players has to change. I'm not saying it has to be the people, but this idea of we're going to get guys who are close to finished products and then you make small adjustments, that hasn't worked. And particularly because Roberts, to me, is the biggest development issue of all, because he had a bad spring. I thought he was going to college. Everybody I talked to, this guy does not hit. He hasn't hit high school pitching. He's looked overmatched. He and Booth played each other, actually, at one point. All the scouts in the world went there. Booth walked 4 times. I think Roberts struck out 3 or 4 times. Like big contrast between the two. I'm not objecting to taking Roberts, especially in the 4th round, but that guy's going to take time. And the Orioles have not been patient and have not had the capacity previously to develop guys like that. I'll be very curious to see what they do and if that means changing philosophy or changing personnel in player development.
And the guy that's running the draft this year, Will Robertson, I'm glad you said that. It is his first time running it. And Keith, Will was my teammate in the minors. So I know him very well. Yeah. I know him very, very well. And so I have a good idea of how he thinks, but I'm glad you mentioned it because from the outside, a lot of people don't realize that was a significant change going into this year. And so thank you, because it's great when you get to mention it, and now time's going to tell how it's going to be. Now, you made a couple comments already on things that maybe shocked you, but I think Rocco, we bring him on, wanted to ask you a little bit about, with the Orioles draft or maybe overall with the draft, Rock, with what, some surprises or misses?
Yeah, Keith, thanks so much for joining the show. And you touched on the Roberts pick in the 4th, and maybe that's the one that I'm trying to get here with this question. But when you're watching the draft, and I know you're watching it from a wider scope than maybe we do here in Baltimore, but did any picks from a miss side maybe stick out to you? You're like, why did they take this kid here? Why did they take this player here? That you're kind of shaking your head at when you're watching them select?
There were a couple even in the 1st round. The Red Sox at 20 took Jake Schaffner out of North Carolina, who I saw and liked. I thought I was high on him, but I had him in the 3rd round. I thought he's a position change guy and a swing change guy, but he's got basic characteristics: super athletic, runs well, has hand speed, is trying to do too much in terms of just put the ball in play and not drive it. Okay, great. A lot of teams can work with that. They took him at 20, and I almost fell out of my chair when I heard that happen. It's like, oh, okay, I thought I was high, and it turns out I was way low. I was like 60 picks behind them. Then a couple picks later, Atlanta, with their 2nd pick, takes a kid out of Indiana State named Carter Beck, whose name I knew, but I never even wrote him up. I had notes, I think, from one area scout on him, and talked to a couple other teams that were like, we didn't have him in. Our area guy didn't turn him in. I happened to be sitting next to Jonathan Mayo at the draft, and I said, did you have him ranked at all? And he goes, we had him at 193. I was like, okay, I feel better, because they took him at number 25, I think it was. I eventually found one other team that was in on him, maybe in the 2nd round. We did find out later, Atlanta signed another kid, a later pick high school pitcher named Hirschkorn, for $4 million, way over slot. So I'm wondering if Beck is going to come in way under slot and they were just playing with money. Sometimes that's a reason where I'm like, that's a dumb pick. And then you see afterwards, oh, no, actually they were moving money around in the total, because it's really judge the total of the draft. Right? If you take out like Will Plunkett, the 8th rounder that the Orioles took, he was a late riser. I knew they were on him because a bunch of their guys went up to watch one of his workouts. But that's a guy where it's going to cost a little money, but I think they might have outscouted some other teams too. And if you take him out of the draft class, you don't like the draft class as much.
With that being said, on maybe there's some surprises, and there always are, who did Keith Law really like this in overall? Like, who were you going, damn, these guys, I like these players, and I'll even take that another step further. Who other teams that you liked in their drafts?
Sure. I was a big Tyler Bell guy. Rockies, who I think had one of the best drafts. They took him at 10. I thought he was one of the best players in the draft. I think he fell because he had a shoulder injury early in the season, non-throwing shoulder. He's going to have surgery. I think some teams got scared off. This guy raked in the SEC all year. Best possible pitching. He hit well as a freshman. He's sophomore this year. He was a 2nd rounder out of high school. So it's not like I'm picking some random guy and saying I think he's good. Everybody thought he was good. Then he went and hit for 2 years. That guy should go higher than 10th in the draft for sure. And I like their draft overall. They got the Golden Spikes winner in Daniel Jackson with a comp pick. They got Logan Redeman at UCLA, who before he went down with an injury, never had surgery. He might have been neck and neck with Jackson Flora as the best pitchers in the draft class. I thought they did a hell of a job. And the Cardinals had a bunch of extra picks. They did a great job, though. And the same thing, they moved money around. They took a 17-year-old, like barely 17, named Rocco Maniscalco out of Alabama. How a paisano like him ends up in Alabama, I really need to know the story at some point. But super athletic, shortstop, runs well, plus power. It's going to take time. He's going to have to hit. I mean, they're really going to have to kind of work on the hit tool with this guy. You would have seen him if you went to the Under Armour game last year, actually. Yeah. He was in that. He was he stood out as one of the 3 or 4 best players in the game. Just watching him move, watching his actions. Like, this is a guy, I thought he was going to end up in the first round, honestly. They got him in the second. I think they're going to sign him for a little over slot, but it's going to be like that. That's the guy you kind of anchor their draft to. And, he may totally flame out. I totally acknowledge that, but I think they stayed on him too. Another one, they outscouted some other teams. A lot of teams pulled off early when he wasn't hitting this spring, and then they stayed on him. Their area guy did a great job staying on him all throughout the spring. When he started playing better, maybe as the pressure was off a little bit because there weren't 80 scouts at every one of his games.
It always helps a young player when they don't feel like they got to try to do more. But the reality, the more and more you play, you're going to have to deal with more and more pressure as you're going up the ranks and people are looking at you to be the star.
Yep.
Well, then, Keith, do I dare ask you in 5 years, who do you think is one of the superstars of this group that we see in the bigs?
I love Von Lackey, the guy who went third to the Twins. I mean, he broke out this year. He changed his swing, went from 6 homers last year to 20-something this year. He's a catcher. He's athletic. He receives really well. I just love how he moves behind the plate. It's a good swing. He's apparently an amazing kid. Like, I went back and forth between him and Rock Chalowski on who I'd take first. And I'm not at all saying the White Sox were wrong to take Chalowski, but I think at the end of the day, athletic catcher's got a chance to hit 20 bombs. Like, those are really hard to find. Really, really hard to find. He was the one who, especially of guys that I saw, just kind of lit me up this year. Like, I saw Emerson, I saw Chalowski. They're good players. He was one of the few where I walked out of the park and thought, I want that guy. No matter what, I'm taking that guy.
That's what I wanted to hear. And also, you're telling me, as a reminder for everyone out there as well, catchers that can hit 20-some jacks and bring an offensive side and also be a very good backstop, because your job is still to control pitching staff in a run game. Well, the Orioles have a couple guys in Baltimore that could fit that bill. They got the one that was the number 1 overall pick a few years ago, and a young Sammy Basayo, which who knows where he ultimately ends up. But the catching position, if you can have an upgrade or an advantage over, it's so significant. Keith, final thing for fun here. Rocco's wanted to ask you this for a while, actually, now. And because he has a little bit of footage. Rock, do you have what we want to talk about?
Yeah, I do. And Keith, this is a prospect that didn't get drafted and one who probably never will. You may have never heard of him before, but we do have footage from this All-Star Game weekend of one Ryan Ripken trying to throw his hardest. We went over this event. It was a radar gun thing, and this is what we got. I want you to break down this video for us if you can. You can do better.
High 60s.
2, all right. He's warming up.
Wow.
Yeah, doesn't feel great, does it?
You can get your warm-ups in, huh?
67, all right.
No warm-up.
You're going up. All right, Rip. All right.
Oh,
What's the vert on that pitch?
That does not feel good.
It's not good.
Did you ice your elbow afterwards?
Yeah, there might have been. I might have some good arm side run here, Keith. Can't remember the last time I've actually tried to throw relatively hard. Like, I haven't thrown a baseball in I don't know how long, and it didn't feel good. Now, accuracy 3 or 4 that matters. I believe it can get up there, but please, give me some thoughts here. What
command 6, velocity 3? Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's rough.
It's tough. Hey, Rock, you know what you said about this kid will never get drafted? Buddy, I got drafted twice.
Yes,
All right?
Well, listen,
you want to shout? Where's your videos?
Yes,
Huh?
yeah. Well, no. We don't have to play my video for meat throwing, but Keith, they say never meet your heroes. It's unfortunate. Like, I thought Ryan was going to throw 80. I had high hopes for him, and then he goes and tops out at 67. So It was a really sad performance, and one I hope we never have to see again on the big stage. So
it's harder than I've ever thrown in my life. I'm not criticizing.
Hey, Keith, thank you. But here's the thing. That was 4 throws or whatever I did over top. I told Rocco now, because we're going to do more content out in the open. I'm just going to get back into playing shape
just
so I can prove to Rocco that there is such a gap between him and I on so many levels.
Get him in the box.
What?
Well, listen, Keith, we're not doing that. Well, let's pump the brakes a little bit there. But yeah, sure.
You know what, Keith? It's what we're gonna do. I told Bernie though for the Under Armour game, I said, hey man, you had one of your guys, I think hit the warehouse. I'm not doing that, but I'll take a metal bat to at least try something. I didn't want to get back out there and see what it's about.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot of fun. But Keith, it's always great catching up with you. You're always so on top of it all. Where can people find everything you're doing when they want to hear about anything for the future players and anything that they missed from this draft?
So all the written content, I've recapped all 30 teams. AL's up today, Wednesday, and it'll be up Thursday. It's all on The Athletic. Just search for my name, or they've got a hub for all the draft content. And then I on Blue Sky, Keith Law. I'm on Instagram. It's Mr. Keith Law, or on TikTok, also I'm under my own name, and been posting some videos to both of those things recently. They put them in the articles too, but just posting them sometimes on stuff that's non-prospect because I'm not writing about it. At least this way I have an outlet, but I don't know. People seem to like them, except my stepdaughters who tell me I sit too close to the camera, or my angle's wrong, or that's cringe. Like, hey,
that's a scouting report that matters, Keith.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. One of them comes, if she hears my voice coming from any phone, she'll just go, ew, and leave it.
Welcome to the world of social media now, where everyone, including the harshest critics, sometimes might be the ones closest to you. So, oh man. Well, Keith, I appreciate you. I know I'll be bugging you soon about something, but I appreciate your time as always, and look forward to chatting next time.
I'll see you at Under Armour.
See you at Under Armour. So is that September, right?
It was last year, I'm assuming. So I don't have the details, but if they're going to hold it, I'll be there.
All right. Well then, hey, I'll see you in person in Baltimore.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks,
Keith. Keith Law, everybody. Man, always great having Keith on, and always great getting the perspective. And Rock, I'm going to make sure that this arm is in shape here in the next month and a half as we get going. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live Monday through Friday right here on YouTube, X, and Facebook at Ryan Ripken Show on all socials.
Rip, I think we need to just talk about this for 2 seconds. And I know you probably weren't able to watch the game, but I was peeking over a little bit.
Yeah.
England was up 1-0 in like the 70th
80
minute, and the game just went final, and Argentina
in the 85th
has since won 2-1. They scored a goal in, what was it?
They scored a goal in the 85th minute.
Which was filthy.
Yeah, Enzo, and then Martinez scored in the 90th.
Joe, I'm so sorry. Joe
sorry.
Adams, apologies. It was an unbelievable match, but it's wow. Like watching that and seeing that, it's like Argentina's inevitable, man.
Are they crazy. Like it felt the Egypt game where Egypt really did, struggle and choke down the stretch. There was some questionable calls, and I feel there was something each time, and then Argentina just has a moment. The Switzerland game with Argentina, that was just brutal situation, but they're the comeback team. They're
just so battle tested. They've been to this stage before. Obviously, the last World Cup, they end up winning. So it's like Messi's still there. This could be the last ride. I think that was like the thing. Like this is his like last hurrah, but he's still playing at such a high level. Like even though he didn't score in this one, it's like the opportunities he's created for his teammates. Like he touches the ball, something great's going to happen. So, yeah, crazy, man. The World Cup is we're one. Well, I guess we got the third place game, but we're one match away from deciding a champion, and it's going to be Spain versus Argentina on the big stage. So
I need a comment on how many corners were attempted in this game, because I'm seeing, as a guy who has over 7.5 corners, I'm seeing 6 from Argentina and 2 from England. On ESPN, on the Real app, everywhere has it. Google has only 1 for England, and that's supposedly what certain redacted book is going off of right now. And I need to know if England had the second corner, because that is the difference in this parlay. So with Joe, I see you didn't end up watching, so unfortunately I can't ask you, but I need someone to tell me, is it 1 or 2 corners?
Can we get a
I need
a corner count, please.
This is where I need I need a review on.
No, it's
how
more
many
in soccer.
corners.
we need it.
Yeah. I guess we gotta put
VAR it.
which they just call VAR. Throws me off every time, because everyone in
Also, if there's
America.
one system I truly still do not understand, it's the VAR. I
just love the hand signals for it. They do the little boop, 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 go. Boop, boop, boop. No. Oh, yeah. And the Argentina has the their announcer's legendary. So like his calls are amazing. I gotta hop off after we're done the show and listen to that, because Yep.
Thank you for sharing that.
I'm just saying, he's a legend.
I know.
Cantor.
I just said thank you. I appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you guys. And Zach, I think it's a good time to bring that up. We do appreciate all of you, and
we appreciate CQ.
See, Nate's got it down. Rocco, get with the picture.
I've been waiting for you to ask me it.
You're on. He's got it. Like Rocco.
Appreciate you, and we appreciate CQ.
Look at that kid. And what baseball movie has fireworks, Nate? And what
Sandlot.
And what do they do under the fireworks?
They play baseball.
Oh my goodness gracious. He's learning. And you know what? We do appreciate all of you, and we appreciate CQ here. And CQ wants to remind you that time's running out, because for the next 2 weeks, you have a chance to not have to pay the first round of payments if you get a CQ auto loan through them. It can be new or used. You can't do any refinance deals. But if you have questions, go to cqmd.org/auto to learn more. And again, enjoy no first payment for 90 days on a new or used auto loan from CQ. But that offer ends at the end of July. July 31st is the date. So don't miss out if you're looking for an auto loan, a new or used car. So appreciate you guys there. Yeah. Also,
we gotta
Rocco's
finish
acting
the
like he threw harder than me. Like he was really trying to come at me guns hot with Keith, like trying to act like big boy on campus.
Yeah, I saw the 50. What was it, 57?
Who the fuck do you think you are now?
One of us played baseball at a very high level, and the other one of us didn't. So the fact that I was only 10 miles per hour off your speed is pretty sad.
His earpiece fell out.
Well, you know what? I could talk all the shit I want then.
Oh, so I'm going to say,
there's no opportunity to defend himself.
Joe, I know you're just being honest with what the information you know. I needed you to lie to me and say it was 6-2. Needed a lie here. I am now I'm not feeling great about this whole over 7.5. ESPN still says 8, but not feeling good about the others.
Tough situation for you, Zach. And
is your earpiece back?
My earpiece is back in.
Fantastic. Nice.
That was it?
Yeah. We got to finish the Uber story.
Yeah. So, Zach, Nate, out of curiosity, if you're from the city,
Yeah.
you would probably know more than a person that's not from the city.
Yeah.
I would think so too, right, Zach?
You would think.
Wait, I didn't hear Rocco with the Uber story because my earbuds died. Did he not know how to get home? Is that what it was?
No, Nate. I knew how to get home.
I
hope
can't hear him.
It's okay.
I knew how to get home. Here was the issue. With the All-Star game being in Philly, usually I take the Broad Street line back. So I hop on the Broad Street line at NRG Station. I will take you through, Rip, how to get home. Hop on the Broad Street line like a normal person at NRG Station, and you take it to Lombard South. You get off at Lombard South, you walk 5 blocks to Fitzwater Street, and you're there. The problem was not Rocco knowing how to get home. The problem was dumbass. Which way is he? I don't even know. Had a 9:34 train that he had to take to get back to Baltimore that he scheduled the night of the All-Star game. Because I got to get back for meetings in the morning and this and that, the other thing. So that put a time crunch on everybody. Everybody meaning him and I. We watched Christopher Sanchez pitch the top half of the first. We watched Schwarber. He was kind enough to let me do that.
Yeah, so really the Phillies are the reason why this became a problem because they were terrible. Sanchez, terrible. Schwarber, terrible.
Oh. How about you? Yeah, boo. Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Rocco's going, can we please see the at-bat? And I'm like, hey, dude, you can stay. I'm not asking you to leave. I just got to go because someone has to go and run the business in the morning. You know, I just working hard here. Here's not my issue about getting back to the house. It was where do we go and just the assertiveness of where we should go, how we should do it.
Well, Rip, when you have a Uber ordered, which you did, and you go, it's 2 minutes away, it'll be here shortly. Then you don't even know where to walk in. You're like, where's T-Lot? Where's T-Lot? How do we get to S-Lot? What's T-Lot? We're getting
Did you know where either lot was?
Directions. No, because I don't park in T-Lot. I just go to the stadium. It's a one shot to get to the stadium. So
like he doesn't know
Uber
the city.
6 minutes away. Then the Uber's 2 minutes away. Then the Uber's 6 minutes away. Then we cancel because we figured out, it's not going to get us to my place where Rip has his bag and his suit jacket in time for him to then get in my car and drive him to the train station. So there, you can take it from there how stupid I am, Rip.
I didn't say you're stupid. I just said this is the situations. But you know what? All was good because we had freaking Muhammad, man. And I'll tell you what, I don't think you're going to find a better cab, Uber, Lyft driver than that man. We said, can you get it done? He said, okay. And he got it. And I mean, he hauled ass and he got us there.
We told him where we needed to go and the time we needed to get us there. And he stepped on it and he got us to my apartment, townhome, whatever you want to call it, in record time. Ariana ended up putting Rip's bag and suit jacket down in the garage. So all I had to do was pop the garage open, give it to him, seamless transfer. This guy on South Street was like, yellow light, red light, we're good. Doesn't matter. We're good. Doesn't matter.
Same.
But like he was doing it in a, not trying to get him in trouble, doing it in a very safe way. But he was driving with a purpose. Respect the hell out of him for that. And then you made your train on time at 9:34, which was like,
I actually was waiting in line. Waiting
I
in
didn't
line.
think we had a shot in hell, dude. Shout out to that guy.
But moral of the story, Zach, Rocker doesn't know Philly. That was
People are saying.
That's what people are saying right now.
Doesn't sound like he does. I don't know, man.
You know what, Nate? I was on your side. I vouched for you with the Sandlot. I thought you were a good human being.
Okay. I get okay. Yes.
You know, thought we were boys, and then you pulled this shit.
Rocco.
All right.
Hey, in all
Next
seriousness,
time I'm in Temple, bro, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know.
In all seriousness, Rocco was a great host for us. It was a great time. We actually had some good moments. This was a good moment, right? We liked each other here.
Yes, we do.
Next time I'll be there.
Yes.
Said I wasn't there.
Yes, you will.
That was great. Do you want to? I know we got to. I want to finish with the quick with the Ravens, but do we want to show the photo in the car with Brad?
Oh, it's a video. It's either one. Listen, for those of you that don't know, I think Joe is one of the only people. Brad got a Porsche 911 and he loves it. Great car to drive with two people in it. Not a great car to drive with two people, one of them being 6'6" and the other one being crammed in the back seat. So like sitting in the back seat was absolutely terrible. Love him for driving us around. Not knocking him at all for that, but
Rocco, that's three people.
What?
You said driving with two things is one thing.
Two people in the front seat and then me in the back seat. I know I'm stupid, Zach, but come on.
You were okay. I was just because you're like it's easy to drive with two people, but it's hard to drive when two people are in. And I was like, that's
okay. You're right. You know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
Get rid of me. You need to get rid of that Rocco.
It's easy to drive with two people, hard to drive with two passengers.
Have you guys ever seen Austin Powers? You ever seen Gold Member, Nate? No, so you know, you don't know about having some toit pants. It was toit. It was very toit in the car. And Rocco was having a moment. Rock, you want to play the video or the?
Yeah, I hope I don't say
Photo?
anything wrong here. I don't think I do.
Maybe mute it.
They said driving in a Porsche would be a dream for everybody. And it is for some people when you have
You're not driving.
this guy. No, I said driving in a Porsche. Look at the legroom I have at 5'9".
That is a horrible angle.
1'3", whatever the hell I am.
I don't know why you would ever. I didn't see that angle of it. I don't know why we just played that.
Well,
that is a crazy screenshot if we want.
The worst part was like, look at my hair there. The next day, you know, we get ready. I do my hair. I gel it, okay? Because like my hair blows all over the place regardless. So Brad, there's clouds in the sky and he wants to drive with the freaking tarp down. And I'm like, okay, dude, take it easy a little bit. And he's just gunning it. And again, this is what I was dealing with on the hair side. Just brutal. So that's what my hair looked like.
It reminds me of the Landon Donovan.
Also a terrible angle. I clearly have big nostrils. I know that.
That there was of the angles that you could have done.
You picked the worst ones. This is how. Where is it?
It was definitely a choice.
And I texted Ariana that video, and I just said, "Yeah, let's just put the roof down in the Porsche while we drive 50 miles per hour. That'll do it." Yeah.
I'm surprised we all survived. So that was overall good. I mean, surviving each other.
Well,
and obviously, Bali, Mr. I'm afraid to bring Zach on a Super Bowl trip.
It's me. You mean you brought Zach on a Super Bowl trip?
So no, I'm sorry, Zach. I'm afraid to bring him, Rocco, on a Super Bowl trip.
Well,
we got to get their hair together before we do that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we can't allow him in the building.
You did talk about us all surviving. Do we want to bring up the photo where many thought that one person didn't survive?
Did you hear this
Yeah,
story?
and it makes no sense. Like, how does anyone take that out of? Me and Rocco were talking about that on the phone this morning. It makes absolutely no sense. Why would that be how you announce that? Like, how would that be you being
you
like,
know what?
Oh,
Should we explain the context of this? Because people are probably like, yeah, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about?
The context is, so this is the picture of Ryan. We were at Mitchell and Ness, and there was, we went in the back room to see like all the, cool jerseys and signs and all the great stuff they have, or lack thereof, whatever you want to call it in Ryan's case. And Ryan and his dad have a funny relationship where Ryan ribs him on social media platforms all the time. But people don't necessarily get the context all the time, I guess. And maybe that's a miss on my part. So
Dude, I saw that.
Ryan decides to take this picture, and then he took one with his eyes closed, and we posted it on social media and just said, "Vibes are at an all-time low, ... And the comments he got were like, "Oh my God."
What were you thinking? Hold on, Nate's. What was your thoughts to it?
I was like, do you hate your dad? Like, what is this? I was actually like, what in the world?
I would have been cooler with that.
But response. Yeah, that response makes sense. Like, that is
I didn't think it was, yeah. You told me that people said that
he was
move
like
into the mic, move into the mic, Nate.
Oh. So when I came into the studio earlier today, Zach was like, "Oh yeah, people thought he died," and I was like, "Dude, no, I thought that he just hated him."
Well, so that was the comment. So to give the context of saying vibes are at an all-time low, I got a lot of text. I got then messages going, "Everything okay with the family?
Yeah,
all good, everything all right." And I do realize is that sarcasm and context for the majority of people that haven't followed either what I've done in the past or don't know my relationship. It was just so I've had people come up and say, "Man, that's really cool." AKA guys like Rocco. And I'm like, I've seen this before. You know what? I've seen that. I was a part of that last year in 2001. I love my dad. My dad is fine. We're not saying the O's are fine. Calvin's fine. Okay.
Well, the best part was we get back and Rip spent like Brad and I are talking about it. We're just like breaking down how the day went, and Rip's just like locked into his phone, looking up every 2 seconds. And I came to realize that he was responding. He spent like probably an hour and a half responding to like 70 comments. Dad's fine. Dad's alive. We're all good. Everything's well. Rocco's an idiot for posting that. Like,
I did not say. Hey,
I just don't. I genuinely don't understand why people. And here's the thing: like, if it would have been like maybe like a more dark post or something, like
if it was in black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
But why would you be like, dang, things aren't going well? Let me post a straight face photo with just standing next to his jersey on the wall. Like, I feel like there would be different context to that.
Yeah, I will tell you guys this. If anything were to happen, this is not how I would demonstrate it to everybody.
Vibes are at an all-time low. Miss you, Dad.
I would be the biggest asshole in the world.
Like what? Like why? Like that's just, you know what? Vibes are an all-time low.
Dude.
Like how is that what people took from this? Like I genuinely do.
I got a bad vibe from it.
So like,
I was like, dude.
so here's
Oh my God.
So Nate's learning. He's learning, but that's a lot of people don't get it. So in that case, I understand. All is well. All is fine. Calvin is fine. And we know that we'll just make sure it's a little bit more definitive. And it was changed to I just can't escape.
Well, now I've messed up with both of your parents. So it's,
no, that is apples and oranges. Apples and oranges. Hey, there is no debate here with Zach and I on where that sided. We'll say one was worse than the other.
Of the Mount Rushmore of the dumbest things I've done on this show or just in my life, that is definitely one of the four, 1,000%.
Yeah, no, it's probably up there. Well, so look, everyone has opinions. You live with them. You make some good takes. You make some bad takes, and that's all part of it. Can we finish this one out real quick? Because I actually have to do a hit for the radio, but can we talk about bad takes for a second? Or not even takes of, if you talk a lot in sports radio, you're probably going to be wrong about some things over time, right? That's been the situation here. Well, there always is going to be conversations about Lamar Jackson, and you guys know this. So it's this time of the season. It's almost training camp. We're going to get into the 2026 year. So, of course, there's going to be some Lamar Jackson discourse. So a very well-known personality, Colin Cowherd, has been on air for many, many years, has had many, many opinions. He had this one to say when it came to Lamar Jackson and a now third-year NFL quarterback. And this was the quote from Colin Cowherd he said the other day regarding Lamar Jackson on the herd. And I quote, "I no longer trust Lamar Jackson in a big spot. I'm selling my stock. Caleb Williams to me now is a much better quarterback. I would take Bo Nix today in a fourth quarter come from behind situation over Lamar Jackson," and I quote. And so I wanted to preface about when you talk on air a long time, you are not going to be right all the time. And I am cool with this. But Colin has had a history over the years of saying some things that you will question. This one to me, very prisoner of the moment situation where Caleb Williams and the Bears had a great year, but had a lot of questionable moments where they did not advance to the NFC Championship game. They had a great game against the Packers and the Rams, and that was it. And then Bo Nix, they were awful against the Bills. So I just sit here and go, in what world are we going to continue to just take shots at Lamar? By the way, in the playoffs, in the Bills game, didn't Lamar lead a comeback in the fourth quarter in that game? Like that, that was the Mark Andrews play. Yeah, he had a turnover.
Did he rip? Did he? It's like people don't remember. It's like people don't remember.
Sorry, Rocco, I can't hear you.
So the thing is, I don't like the whole prisoner of that moment situation. I think Caleb Williams, I like what he's done. I really like Bo Nix. I mean, Zach, I'm not even going to defend anything. Of those three guys, I know my choice. I'm still taking Lamar Jackson every single time. All situations the same. Health, anything. I don't think that I feel like I'm crazy, but I don't think that this is a conversation.
No.
Not right now.
This is like you said, and I brought this up actually yesterday when talking about just the more comments about Lamar. Like you said, we are officially like, this is that time where you realize like, man, we need football back so bad, because now here is like it's always a flat circle. Like by the beginning of the off season, it's like, oh, it's going to be, these guys are so much better. Like by the time we get to this point, like people thought Bo Nix and Caleb Williams were like bad like 4 months ago. But like by the time now we've gotten so close to football, now those same people are like, but honestly, I would probably, he's like top 3 in the league if we're being like, opinions are going to change a million times even now till then. Like I'm sure Colin Cowherd by week 3 is going to go on one of his rants where he's like, what if I told you Bo Nix isn't even a NFL quality quarterback? What if I told you I would rather take Jared Stidham right now to start this team after the way he played in the AFC Championship? I'm taking Jared Stidham. This is hot take time. That's, that's kind of my comment. It's because like it is a take. It is that part of the off season. Usually April and June, both Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are traded to 7 different teams. Then by the time we get to training camp, they're actually both not that good. And then by halfway through the season, it's, well, everyone knows these are the 2 top quarterbacks in the league. Like everyone knows this, like it's no debating. And then by the time we get to next off season, it's, I hear Baltimore's done with him. I hear they don't actually think he's good. I saw yesterday, the best one is Lamar Jackson without his legs is not a top 10 quarterback. I'd like to take any quarterback's legs. Take every quarterback's legs. Then let's see what happens.
It's just been patiently waiting and listening and reading Colin Cowherd say that. You just have to shake your head. You know what, Colin? Sell your stock that you have on Lamar Jackson, but don't try to buy it back when he makes you eat your words this season and next season and the season after that. That's what pisses me off so much. We need to start holding some of these media personalities accountable, because it's just a crazy statement to make against a guy that is a 2-time MVP in the National Football League and does his best to make everyone around him better, and just has moment after moment where you're just shaking your head like, oh my God, like this guy's incredible at football. If you were to say it, if Colin Cowherd were to say that, stand on it, own it, 8 weeks, months, years from now, cool, say it. You stood behind it. You're wrong, but you said what you said. What pisses me off, guys, is these guys say it and they walk it back, and say it and they walk it back year after year, week after week. And it's incredible that they're able to go on and just say that. Colin Cowherd, say what you want about him, love him or hate him. He gets views. He gets clicks. He gets people like us talking about him right now. But it doesn't mean that he's right, and it doesn't mean that he should be doing that, because it's just a simply a wrong statement. It's a dumb statement that he made. And at the end of the day, like, I don't want to hear again 5-6 weeks from now, or when the season starts 5-6 weeks in, Lamar Jackson is the MVP frontrunner. He's doing incredible things with the Ravens. Declan Doyle and Jesse Minter have unlocked Lamar Jackson's potential. He's the best player in the NFL. Like, no. Stand on what you said, eat your words, and you're done. But again, he'll walk it back like they always do, and that's what drives people up a wall at the end of the day. And again, Zach, like you said, it's Lamar Jackson. What's that? It's a Lamar Jackson. Like, we're at the point in the offseason where who's going to say something dumb about Lamar Jackson next and how bad of a football player he is, when we all know he's unbelievable. So
this is the same guy who in 2020 went on a 7-minute rant about why he could never trust Carson Wentz because he wore a backwards hat.
Backwards hat kind of guy.
We are
backseat the car.
We got to remember, like in these early stages, like sometimes, like you said, Rip, when you're on air every day, like eventually, like you got to come up with stuff. So like this is the give and take.
You're gonna say stuff, and I like Colin. I know some people say they don't like. I do like.
I think he's hilarious.
I really do. He's been a standard in the industry for a while. Doesn't mean, Lord knows, I don't agree with him on all these things. And let this play out. I hope that all those guys play well. Didn't everyone think Matthew Stafford before he went to the Rams was like, he can't get him over the big hump? Or, he just went to a team and a coach and a system, and now everyone's like, Matthew Stafford, Hall of Famer. Oh, he always had it. It was just bad situation. It changes each and every year. And Lamar Jackson, he's healthy. I guarantee you he's going to be really damn good. That's been the track record. Let's see if he can change it. Fellas, I got to take this call, though. So you guys have the ability to close out the show. This is scary. Hot in here, Zach?
Let's do it. I'm muting his mic. You go take that. But I think that's going to do it for this edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. On our way out, as we talked about, we appreciate our friends over at CQ. We appreciate our friends over at AutoStream Car Care Center. So, Rocco, anything else?
No, I just want to bring up this picture of Brad, and then we can get out of here. Because I took it, and we had it queued up, so I felt like that needed to be seen. That's so memeable at the end of the day. Like, I don't know. Like, Brad told me, he's like, that could have been used in the past. Like, if the Ravens blow a second half lead, that's your face. Absolutely. He was okay.
All right, I'm killing the music.
Sorry, had to.
Did we turn off the?
No, there we go.
Turned off the sound for the music.
There we go.
All right. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. That's going to do it for this edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. Live weekdays, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5, somewhere in that time period. We'll be back tomorrow with some more guests. Thank you to Keith Law for joining us today. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way out, and we will see you right back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. for another edition of the Ryan Ripken Show. Have a great day, everyone.